Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life. Last May, they boarded
A fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus basically walked the streets of Winnipeg unsupervised, and the decision is causing concern. Vincent is schizophrenic and was found not criminally responsible.
Australia doesn't have any. Okay, good. I'm gonna have to change the names now. So, Australia doesn't have any serial killers. Like, we've had a couple of mass murderers, but no real good serial killers or anything like that. But I think we are cultivating the very first one, because let me tell you a story about a little 15-year-old.
Like you specifically? Like you
No,
specifically?
not me specifically.
Okay,
Not me.
Australia.
You don't know that for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, well,
Cultivating it.
so there is a 15-year-old who works in a place that I know about. No, I never said that. There's a 15-year-old who works somewhere, and he has done a series of things that lead me to believe that we are watching the next serial killer be born, right? So the very first thing is he's not allowed on Transperth anymore, which is our public
Yeah, we get that
system.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get that part.
No, we don't have subways. So it's our bus and train. So he's been banned off of that because he kept bringing pig's hearts onto the train. So they were telling him not to bring pig's hearts on, and he refused to stop bringing pig hearts. So he got kicked off there. So he's not allowed there anymore. He's also not allowed into.
Sorry, just to interrupt, just really quickly. Why are pig hearts contraband on your buses?
I just don't think they want bloody dripping pig's hearts out of bags.
Okay, so the issue wasn't that he was bringing pig's hearts. The issue was that he was making a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Yep.
shit bag.
Yeah.
Right.
So then the second one is he's not allowed into our major shopping centre anymore, or one of our major shopping centres over here anymore, because he identified a blind lady and then started following her around with pop crackers. You know those things that you throw on the ground and they go psh, like the little firecracker thing?
Yeah.
And just kept throwing it around this blind woman's feet as she's walking through the shopping centre. She couldn't figure out what was going on.
It's objectively funny though.
I know. and then the third one is he got in trouble because he was putting, the hungry hippos balls.
Marbles?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Marbles.
The little he decided to put a whole bunch of them in a packet of gobstoppers and broke someone's teeth. So he's sharing these bowl of gobstoppers around that had hungry hippo balls just filtered throughout it, just to watch someone
marbles.
break their teeth.
Okay. I this is very much serial killer behavior, but you're also laughing way too hard at it.
I don't think this is serial killer behavior. I mean, this is very extreme comedy, but I would say that this is just a blossoming comedian, because those are all right pranks, actually.
There is two bad jokes away from a comedian becoming a serial killer. That's all it takes.
That's
there's
true.
no distance between them.
The thing is, he's 15, right? So this is where he's starting. He's not starting by seeing a dying bird and pushing it into a pool. He's starting by, I wonder if I can torment these people, break their teeth. I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, first it's
See,
pig
again-
hearts on the bus, then it's human hearts in taxi cabs. We all know how it escalates.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's a
Allegedly.
spleen in an
Allegedly.
Uber.
Well, it just honestly, I think Tom Green started doing stuff on cable TV when he was 17. He was doing weird shit like that, and he got a cable show out of it, Ottawa only cable show. So maybe this kid's hilarious. Maybe this kid's a fucking prodigy. I don't know.
I was someone needs to give this guy a cuddle, because, we just want to.
Oh, I was gonna say, then they'll find his sweaters lined with thumbtacks when they try to hug him.
See, and that would also be funny.
Exactly, 10 steps ahead of the game. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah.
I was just gonna say, you thought of that whole story because I was saying I let my kids watch horror movies, and they're you think my kids?
Yeah,
you
because
think I'm brooding a serial
Well,
killer?
Oscar's already Jack the Ripper, so I mean,
That's true.
Let it go, Richard. If anybody's
Yeah,
going to talk about serial killers in relation to kids, it's going to be yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, because
fair enough.
when you were talking about it, I was like, it feels like we need to keep a close eye on Richard because he is potentially trying to cultivate a couple of serial killers. Like if they're watching hardcore stuff and they're like, no, this is boring as shit. And then how, like, it's like porn, right? Like you need weirder and weirder porn. Are they going to get weirder and weirder horror? And then they're like, I wonder if I can try this in real life on kittens. I don't know.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I mean, I watched horror movies when I was younger than Richard's
Yeah,
kids,
look at you.
and I know. It's like maybe once a week I wake up in a cold sweat shortly after falling asleep because of the image of something violent flashes across my mind. It doesn't happen that often. So.
Jack watches the Child's Play movies with me every Halloween, and he has for the last 2 years. So
That's awesome.
To be fair,
okay.
you guys where you are, like there is
it's gonna get racist. Okay.
no.
You people, huh?
No, where you guys are, you guys have like, because obviously you guys get into Halloween and stuff like that, where we've only really just started it over here. And there's not like, we don't have haunted houses. We don't like have a huge scary movie culture over here. It's not anything like it. Like it would be unheard of people putting kids in front of horror movies over here. We just don't. But also the only ones that we've got from Australia are the Blair Witch Project and
You have every movie we have minus 10.
Oh no, I mean that were made here, but like I think we've got a couple, but the ones that I know about, and I don't like horror at all.
Babadook.
Babadook
one
was
you guys?
wicked.
What was
I
it?
don't know what that is.
Babadook, yeah, that movie was wicked.
Wasn't that Australian?
I thought it was English, Brits, but I can't remember. I was a
No,
while
I
ago.
think
I watched that.
Babadook's Australian.
Could be.
It's not
Ozzy's-
I'm not saying that people like any Australians who end up listening to this don't be offended. It's just not in my circle of people at my age. I like.
It's okay. You guys have like animals just killing things around. Like
We
you guys
live
get
horror
your own
movies.
Yeah, exactly. You guys got a lot of horror
Yeah.
going on just in the real life.
That's a
It's
good
fine.
point. I think comparatively, that young man is relatively harmless. Actually,
Maybe that's what he needs.
he's teaching you a lesson. Because if he puts marbles in your gobstoppers, maybe you're going to learn to check your food before you eat it, and you're not going to get bitten by a spider.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, he's the horror movie all along.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I
look,
would say keep away the disabled people because I don't think this kid likes them. Because the next step, I feel the logical step he would do is maybe rocket launchers behind a wheelchair. I don't know.
or kicking like running through the
Yes.
supermarket, kicking crutches out from under people.
Who knows?
It's
Taking the
horrible.
batteries out of the hearing aid and things.
Yeah,
I don't
How do
know.
you know all these things about this child?
Is this like
I may
national
or-
news?
No, I may or may not know someone who looks after them.
Okay, so if you know all these things about this individual, and you look after them, why do they keep happening?
I don't.
Okay, but why? Okay, so the person that you know allows it to keep happening. So the person you
No.
know is in fact the problem.
No, they're trying to stop it.
I feel
But
like you guys
also-
are bullying the weird kid. That's what I feel like's happening now.
No, well, that's what they're trying to like. They're going a little bit more like, let's pay super attention to this kid because obviously there might be a little bit of attention-seeking behavior. So
Do you
they're
guys
trying to pay.
do you guys not have autism in Australia?
It's not
Yes.
made in
Or
Australia.
maybe because they're all autistic. It's Australia, so it's like
Funny.
You making that face and the way you just said that didn't help at all.
yeah. Were you stimming?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
would say
that's-
just send the kid over here to Canada and maybe send him to Richardstown or a town next to Richard is called Matheson and he will start appreciating life and then he'll come back a better man. I don't know.
I
I
guess.
don't
There's
know.
nothing else to do there.
What do you guys do to misbehave children over there?
No, I
Yeah,
think they just
that's-
have lots of disabled people for him to victimize.
yeah, he'll come and get it out of his system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's,
Now, how are you going to segue from disabled people into this? Let's
How
see
am
what
I
he's
going to
got.
segue into that? I I don't even know yet. We'll get there, I'm sure.
Well, before you do, I'm gonna dip out. I don't want to infringe on the episode in the middle of it or something. So it was good seeing everybody.
Good to see
I
you
miss
too.
you.
It's good to see you. We
Oh
all miss
yes.
you.
This
Before
one
you
would have
go,
been a good one.
RJ.
This would have been a good
Before
one
you
for
go,
RJ, but there's too many
Chris.
people.
Yeah, I will be
it's-
sure to listen and
hard to listen
and
to.
give color commentary later.
Hey, you can't say color commentary in front of Sumit. That's our job.
Yeah. I'll give BPOC commentary later.
All
Bye.
right.
Have a good one. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right, now I'm going to actually say it now that it's recording. Well, is that Sumit, my brown brother from another mother? Yeah.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Are you still creeping out on Russian chicks named Katya? Maybe, may not. I don't know.
Oh,
she was
nice
15.
recall. She was 15. Yep, she was. Actually, she was 14.
Oh,
Wait,
I-
Sumit, did you see it? Look. I turned the guy. Oh, sorry, I've just got RJ's dumb face because I'm turning him into the queen. But did you see? Did you see, Sumit? I made her.
Oh yeah!
Look at the rack on vodka yaga
And she's got teeth and a potato and vodka
and an apple.
and an
That's
apple.
amazing.
That's amazing for sure.
I was about
First
to
I've
say,
seen.
like, I was listening to the last episode that you guys did with Tyler, and I was driving at that point, and you guys started talking about how Ron Jeremy started sucking his own dick. And as
Yeah.
usual, Celeste was like explaining it, and then she got the picture, and then you guys were discussing it, and I'm like, you know what? I have to stop doing this stupid thing, and I have to see how this is happening. Stupid thing, the driving part. And I
Driving?
pulled over, the driving part. I pulled it over, and I spent 15 minutes looking at these images, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I just picture you on the side of the highway, disgusted by Ron Jeremy sucking his own dick, and then going like, "Oh, back to work, I guess." Like continuing the episode.
They drive past it, all they see is like this much of the guy in the car going,
Yeah, just thrashing in
Lights
disgust.
are on.
Yeah, but then the cops
See
drive
this?
by and they're like, isn't that the guy that's always pissing on the side of the road?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they see this. They just see this.
For the listener, Bo just tried to suck her own dick.
She was
Seriously.
this close.
Seriously.
No,
She's like,
She did it.
I wonder.
She did it. You can't see.
Yeah.
She did it. She had the
I
whole
did.
thing.
Yeah. To the hilt.
And she did look like Ron Jeremy. Okay.
Ah! Rude.
It was all
I'm
the
much
body
prettier.
hair.
Yes. They were like, is that a brown Ron Jeremy sucking their dick on the side of the road where they normally piss?
Yeah, so can you roll their windows? Hey, officer, can you do this? I can do this.
It was a sad moment. My son doesn't like to kiss me anymore.
Which one?
Oh, Gabe.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, Gabe. I went to give Gabe a kiss. I was like, good night. And he's like, no, you can kiss me here only. And I'm like, yeah.
Died a
It was
little bit
horrible.
off the side.
I did. I was like, oh, it's happening. He's growing up. He doesn't want his mum kissing him anymore. But let's Chrissy do it. I'm offended.
Yeah, but at the
yeah.
same time, it's important for you to respect that because we all have to teach them consent at a young age. So it hurts like hell.
100%.
But you
Yep,
can't just be
100%.
like, I gave you life.
Yeah. I was like, you ruined me, and now you get to decide. No, but I was like, okay, Gabby, that's totally fine. I was like, oh, okay, no, it hurts. I'm okay. I respect that you don't want to be kissed anymore. It's fine. I'll only do it on your cheek. But yeah.
Well, that's
Also,
sad.
Did I tell you one time? So, you know, when kids are discovering, like, speaking of kids' consent and stuff, you know, when like kids are discovering their body and like seeing other people like blah, and started noticing that their things are different, right? I was in the shower and I was having a shower with Gabe, and he was 18 months, maybe he was 18 months. And he was standing there and he goes, Mum, where's your willy? And I was like, Mummy doesn't have a willy. Mummy has a vagina. You have a willy. I don't have a willy. And he looks and he goes, oh. And then he just looks and he turns around in the shower and shakes his head and goes, what a mess. I was like,
What kind of flapjacks you got going on down there that he's like, you thought that was
But
a
in
car
my-
crash? What do you
in
got?
my
3-inch
head-
fucking lathes or what? What's going on down there?
I don't know. I have a very beautiful vagina, but like
Okay.
I'm thinking in his head, he's going, that is one weird looking dick. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
And here
It's
we
like-
are, 10 minutes later, back again to dick conversation.
it happens a lot actually when I'm involved. Weirdly.
Can't help it.
Kids are really funny. They're really
Yeah.
funny. Like Jack one time noticed that I had like armpit hair, right? Because like I live alone. I don't shave my pits. Who the fuck cares? And like he's just like he was like, oh, okay, like looking at it. And then I just see him and he's like like looking at his own. And
He's like, where am I?
confused about
Yeah.
it. He's like,
Oh,
What?
when Jesse was younger and got his first couple of pubes, he came out and he's like, I can't pull the hair out. And I was like, what's happened? He's like, the hair from my head fell down and now it's on my willy and I can't pull it off. And I'm like, oh no, mate. No, mate. Here, let me show you something.
Here is a diagram. Um,
how about that? Are we coming in segues?
that's
Discovering
a
our
kind of a-
bodies.
that's kind of a segue. To a point, it is because, well, okay, Sumit's here. No offense,
Wait,
Sumit.
Celeste, get your racist counter out, please.
Oh fuck. All right, I'm on it.
Oh yeah, Sumit's here. Racist counter has to come out. Sumit's here, but I kind of well, you were my second choice for today, Sumit. Not because I don't love you to death. Not because I don't love Sumit to death. I do love Sumit to death, but I wanted Luke Toki. And the reason I wanted Luke is because he was on a game show or reality TV, and today we're going to talk about reality TV.
Oh, our Luke.
Luke, yeah, but he couldn't come.
Oh,
And yeah.
damn.
it's all good. We're talking about reality TV here. So, have you guys ever do you remember like the 90s and stuff when Japanese game shows were all like crazy and they would do a bunch of crazy shit in these game shows? Do you remember this? Anybody remember this?
Yeah,
Jeremy?
well, I
Japanese game
still do,
shows?
and I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's a lot less crazy now than it used to be.
Yeah, it's
they've
very
actually- they actually have
dangerous.
laws. They've actually have
Yeah.
laws against it now, doing crazy shit because of so much bad shit's happened. In fact,
Yeah, I know, it's so funny.
they can't go as crazy as they'd like.
Yeah.
But they had a show in 1998. It was a Japanese reality TV show that asked the question, can someone live only on winnings? It was called Susunu Denpa Sho-nen. Now I tried to translate this. It translates in like 7 different ways. First translation I saw was "Don't go for it, electric boy," which is
Ooh.
awesome. Don't go for it, electric boy. I like that one.
Wait, how do you spell it?
Susunu! Exclamation point. SUSUNU.
SU and a space?
No, just all one word.
SUSUNU.
SUSUNU. Exclamation point.
Yep.
Denpa Shonen.
GEN.
Denpa, DENPA.
Oh, DENPA.
And then Shonen. SHONEN.
NEN.
So I looked it up a
Exclamation
bunch.
point?
No. I looked it up a bunch. The first one, like I said, don't go forward, electric boy. Another one that I saw was lit forward signal youth. Lit forward signal youth. One of my friends that lives up here, his name's Mark Klapik, another comedian. He's the guy who left the group because we were posting Victorian pictures of people with dead babies, like because they would take
Oh,
pictures.
that
Those
guy.
were early days.
Yeah. He left, but he's a buddy of mine from up here, and his wife is from Japan. He lived in Japan for like 10 years. So I called him and I was like, dude, how do you translate this properly? And he says like he knows the show that it existed, and it's kind of like a pun. So it's hard to translate into English. So like, don't go for it, electric boy. But like, he's like, it doesn't really translate well. So we're just going to call it, I've seen it be called Sweepstakes Life. So the show is just going to be called Sweepstakes Life because it makes my life that much easier trying to say, don't go for it, electric boy 100 times.
Mhm.
Oh, I like that. And then how would you shorten it like they do these days? DGFIEB.
Dib doesn't work.
Exactly. That was perfect.
That actually
Okay.
does, but that's really
So the show is called Electric Sweepstakes.
It's you guys.
Sweepstakes Electric Boy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right.
Sweepstakes Life. Sweepstakes Electric for
Electric Life of Sweepstakes Boy.
lit. That show sounds awesome. Sweepstakes Life is what we're going with.
Get lit.
It was a reality TV show that ran 4 seasons from 98 to 2002. Do you guys watch reality TV? It's kind of my little...
A little bit of.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. 90 Day
I don't.
Fiance.
Friends with Luke Toki goes,
Oh my god, I can't believe you said I was friends with him. Oh my god.
you are friends with him.
Well, I've met him twice, but he's amazing. He's amazing, Luke. I love you. But I watch Survivor, and my guilty pleasure in life is I've watched every single season of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I love that show with my entire heart.
Oh shit, no, I watch My 600-Pound Life. I love that shit.
I watch
so good about
Hoarders.
myself.
Oh my god,
Those
Hoarders.
are, perfect.
Hoarders
Those
isn't
are
even on anymore. I would watch it.
I know. Chrissy and I binged the whole thing, and then and then got up and crazy cleaned because as soon as there was a piece, someone dropped something on the floor, we're like, oh,
I'm not a hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. We all watch it. Even TikTok, half of it's reality TV now, right? It's people just man on the streets doing stuff. We all watch it. It's
or people organizing their houses, all the bulk shit they buy from Costco into containers.
Yeah,
I live for that
don't
shit.
watch that, but I know that exists. You know what I mean? 'Cause I've
stationery.
watched it.
Oh, people showing their stationery organized. Oh my god, porn.
Yeah,
Love
it's so common now, though. But in 1998, it was kind of fresh. It was kind of new. Wasn't all sorts of things. And they went to the extreme with a lot of their seasons. They had 4 seasons basically of Sweepstakes Life. See, that's the thing. Don't Go for Electric Boy makes more sense because the fucking Sweepstakes Life is just the first season name. But anyway, they would do crazy shit. Second season, the first season, what we're going to talk about today. So second season, I'll just tell you a couple about the other seasons. Second season of this show, they stranded 2 contestants on an island. I think it might have been just one actually, on an island just off the coast of Japan. And to win the season, the contestants would have to make a raft and just escape back to Japan. No help, nothing. Here, you're on an island, make a raft, get back. That's how you win.
Okay.
4 months.
Wait, how
Castaway? I could do that.
Yeah, hang on. Is Wilson there? No, wait. How far is it?
Well, no,
back
it wouldn't
to
be
Japan?
Wilson over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wilson's son. One for the race.
One goes up on the race.
Oh my god, I was about to say the Fast and Furious character named Han, so I was like, rather than Wilson, it would be Han. But then Wilson sounds better than that.
or Fo Wang. No, wait, hang on. How far is it from this island back to Japan?
It wasn't ridiculously far, but you had to make a raft. It wasn't. I don't have the exact numbers, but it was close enough where they made it on a homemade raft. You know what I mean? They did it. It's just they didn't. It's not like Castaway either. Castaway was a crashed UPS plane, so he had supplies. They're just here, island, go.
Now
that's nuts to me.
How big's the island and what's on the island? Is it just
not much, just vegetation, some trees and shit. It doesn't really matter. It's not the focus of this episode. It's just one of the things they did. No, it's cool. It's not.
I'm no,
I didn't get much into the other episodes. I just want you guys to know the kind of shit they were doing. So this was season 2.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Harry Balls. So it would be named Harry. Sorry, I looked it up. There is a Japan-based company that makes tennis balls called Harry Balls. So his name would be Harry
Balls.
Harry
his island companion would be
Harry Balls.
Harry Balsan. Sorry,
Balsan. Season 3 had contestants, 2 people that had to hitchhike their way from South Africa to Norway, and they're Japanese.
South Africa?
The bottom of South Africa.
Being Japanese have to do with them?
Because they don't know the language.
Are you saying Japanese people can't do that?
I'm saying that
they're going to die.
Oh.
In South Africa?
Sorry, they're going from where to where?
South Africa to Norway.
I cannot speak Norwegian either.
Exactly. 10,000 kilometers. They had to go. They got a backpack full of stuff. That was their whole thing. I don't even know how long that one took, but someone almost died in that one. But he couldn't get water. He almost dehydrated himself. The last season of this,
the sky makes it. Why don't you just collect it on your anyway?
It's true.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know. I didn't watch.
Oh,
the full
but it
thing.
is
I just-
Africa. It depends on what time they went, right? Africa's got a lot of deserts.
I believe the rains down in Africa are in
Africa.
fact blessed.
I was gonna sing it, but you just said it. I was like, perfect. Perfect. The last season of this, they put contestants in their each in their own room with a TV to watch their favorite baseball team play. And if their team won, they were given food, and part of their face was revealed to the national audience that the show was doing. If their team lost, they'd be given no food, and they would cut their electricity for the whole day.
What
Until
in the
the next-
Squid Game is this?
Yeah. So
Well, it had shit ratings though. It was only 3.5 IMDb score, so nobody liked it anyways. I found another name. Sorry, if you like, I think this will make more sense. It says, "Do not proceed, crazy youth," is one of the translation.
Well, sure.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the point of the title was just to communicate, like, this is going to be really hard, basically.
Yeah,
This
but
is
they
You
kinda
don't
suck.
want to do this, McCamey Manor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of McCamey Manor-ish, where it's like you don't want to do this, but we'll get into a little bit here. So the last so they every night if their team would play, they would have their TV back, they win. If the team went on a long losing streak, they wouldn't feed them for like weeks. That one got canceled because no one was watching by that time. It was the first season that was super popular, just waned on popularity as the seasons went on. Plus, they started making laws against doing shit like that, so they just fucking canceled the show. So no
Starving
one
reality TV contestants? Those seem pretty good laws.
died. Pretty good laws. So the first season of Susunu Denpa Sho-nen was the most popular, and we're going to be talking about that today. It's a story of a struggling comedian named Tamauki Hamatsu, born August 5th, 1975, or as he is better known as Nasubi,
Electric
which
Boy.
means eggplant.
Oh, sorry.
It means eggplant in Japanese, actually.
Okay. Yep.
He got his nickname of Eggplant because his face is the shape
Huge dick.
of an
Oh, sorry.
eggplant. Let's just say Eggplant's dick comes up, so we'll have to talk about that a bit too. So
Well,
maybe
you'd
this
want to
thing-
hope so.
Have to. I
He'd
believe
need
you mean get to, but all right.
His father was a policeman, and he grew up in Fukushima City.
Mhm.
The first two episodes of Sweepstakes Life are available online. Actually, I think I found all of them now, so I'm going to post them in the show notes if you guys want to watch them.
Did you
Yes.
watch it?
I did.
Was it good?
No, I feel bad.
No.
Like, it's
A lot
different
of
now
yelling.
because back then it probably would have been a lot funnier because we had less care for people in the 90s. Now we're like, oh, I feel bad for this guy. He's suffering. Anyway, we'll get to it. But yes, I did watch it all. All that they released, honestly, is maybe 2 hours worth of content over the amount of time we're going to talk about today. So the first two episodes, or a bunch of them I'm going to release. Okay. It starts off January 1998 in a typical like office with a bunch of struggling comedians just sitting around in a room waiting for an audition to be on this show. And when they're sitting there, they're like, oh, this is an audition. Then they just come in, like the producers come in. They're like, yeah, it's not really an audition. It's more of like a hat draw. So don't worry about it. So they just put everyone's name in a hat. They didn't have to do any type of auditioning, which I found funny. And our buddy Nasubi wins the draw. So I'm going to show you Nasubi winning the draw just so you guys can get an understanding of how this starts off.
Question.
Yes.
Sorry. Why did they pick comedians specifically? Is it because they're desperate and will do anything because they're comedians?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. It's a bunch of struggling young artists that they were looking for. It's like a casting call, and the people that came in were a bunch of young men comedians. So
Did any women come?
Typecast.
no, not a woman amongst them.
Were women allowed to come?
Probably not. I don't know though.
But it is,
I think-
it is Japan in the 90s,
Yeah.
so.
Women weren't allowed to come in the 90s in Japan?
Ah!
Actually, I'm pretty
I
sure
mean-
in Japan in the 90s, women weren't even like allowed. They were still being put in baskets in the rivers and stuff. What?
Screen share with sound. Screen share with sound. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Go Electric Boy. Or Eggplant.
As
No,
Nasubi.
don't go Electric Boy.
Don't
Yeah.
do it, Electric Boy.
Don't.
Don't do it, Electric Life.
ヒッチハイクのパン屋を伊藤隆の姿もあった。そしてもちろんあの顔も。 それではここで放送ではお見せできなかったオーディションに臨む直前のナスビの自己アピール映像をご覧ください。
His head does look like an eggplant. I'm not wrong. His head looks like a fucking eggplant.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
そして
See, this audition doesn't require anything but luck. Luck, boing,
オーディ
boing,
ションが始まった。
今回のオーディションは
and these over-exaggerated like dun, 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 boing, boing, all these weird sound effects. This is the whole show. It's overlaid over the whole
Fuck
show.
yeah.
Just to get the whole.
All of Japanese television.
Yes, I just want everyone to understand that.
当たりを引いたやつの勝ち。
スタッフの有無を言わさぬ完璧な段取りでオーディションは謎に包まれたまま進む。
それではいきます。
あ
開けてください。
He's very happy.
Oh, is
Let's stress here. He's very happy for winning this.
Is that a condom?
So that point there it just said at this point he's not sure what this project entails, and then it says somebody says, "Okay, shall we go?" And he goes, "What? Right now?" All right, so we'll go back to the script a little bit. Here
I
and
feel
we'll
like
come
this
back.
is how Casting Couch used to go before everybody knew what Casting Couch was.
Yeah, probably.
What's
Actually,
casting couch?
Oh, fucking lesbians and their porn. Why are you so uncultured in porn?
Because I have real life pussy.
So I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know how to answer that.
I'm just gonna go keep explaining. You're right though. That does look like casting couch. That could have been just easily like, come with us right now. And then Nasubi wakes like there's a brown or a black leather couch in the room, and he just sits down. So what do you like? What do you do? Why do you want to get in the porn industry? And Nasubi's like, oh, bing bong ding, and everyone's happy.
Oh, God. Okay, big tap on that one.
I'm talking about the sound effects. I'm not talking about his.
I know you were.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not gonna watch. We're not gonna watch the whole fucking video. I did pick out a bunch of clips.
I
for us to
could
watch.
have watched that whole thing easily.
Yeah.
I was very, I was into it.
I'll just explain it. Maybe we'll watch a little bit more. I'll just explain it for the listening audience, and then
That has
I'll-
a huge head. Seriously,
for
if he just held his
Big
breath,
head.
he'd be able to float like his head was a buoy or a buoy, or however you guys say it, across the gap. Like that is a massive head.
Big.
it's big. It's long. It's a long head for sure.
For sure. I get
He's
the
Mr.
eggplant.
Eggplant.
So we were just in the audition room. He says thanks, and then he's like,
Sorry, hang on. I sent what you said in Japanese to the only person I know who speaks Japanese, and she's like, "Hello, this makes no sense."
ask her if she knows who Nasubi is. She'll say yes. Some Japanese friend will know.
She's 22.
Maybe still.
Okay, cool.
He got super famous. Anyway, so
Send an eggplant emoji.
so yeah, that we were just there. He was just leaving the audition room. They just said, "Come with us now." They end up blindfolding him. He walks outside to a car. From there, he's driven to an unknown location. Nasubi gets out of the car, and then he's carefully walked through a wintry snow-covered streets in Tokyo in January to a nondescript building. They get him into a random room, and when he gets into the room, they take his blindfold off, and he sees a few
Then
things.
his shirt, then his pants.
There's 1,000 of pre-stamped postcards stacked on a stack on a table, like thousands of them.
Are you okay, Celeste?
Said 1,000 priests.
Oh,
I was like,
Pre-stamped,
stacked on top of each other.
1,000 priests waiting to anoint him into the next life.
Oh.
on a couch.
Stacked on top of each other with stamps.
Christian casting couch hasn't happened, but I'm sure it will after this episode.
It will now.
Yeah.
Add it to the business plan.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact. Maybe it does. Anyways, so he gets in there. There's thousands of pre-stamped postcards stacked in a giant stack on the table, a couple stacks. There's a pen, an empty notebook, a cushion in front of this makeshift office. There is a telephone. There's a radio, a gigantic magazine rack, full of like brand new magazines, all filled right to the brim of it. There's actually a complete washroom, there's a complete washroom. There's no toilet paper. There was a single burner stove there as well, like electric. I don't know if it was gas or electric. I think it was electric. Burner stove. Zero food, not a bit of food. Okay. So Nasubi was told, okay, now to win, you have to stay in that room until you win 100 million yen worth of prizes from sweepstakes. And a million yen is about 10,000 American dollars. So
Oh, that's it.
yeah, not
Which
10,000
is like
American dollars.
5,000 Australian dollars.
So he had to
6,000.
that's what the magazines were for. So they were telling him, you got to fill out these contests in the back of these magazines, all these like sweepstakes, and that's how you're gonna get your stuff. And as soon as you get enough stuff, you get to leave the room. That is how this works. So the radio is there for that too, so you can listen to like radio sweepstakes. You could like call in and like, I'm Nasubi, I want to win the car or whatever. If you can get through, third caller that gets through, shit like that. And anything he won, he could use for himself or keep after the challenge was over. And if he won, you know what his prize was? Can you guess?
He gets to keep whatever he won.
That and exposure. They told him you will get exposure.
And you can keep all the magazines.
You can keep all of the exposure and magazines ever. So you'd be the star of this reality TV show if you get through it, and you'd be invited to come back to discuss your experiences in like a bonus. That's what you get. And you get a lot of people to see your face. You won't be struggling comedian anymore. Sound good, Nasubi?
He has to spend the money from the sweepstakes on opportunities for more sweepstakes and food and shit, or he just gets to keep the money?
No, he gets the magazines and he gets the sweepstakes. So if you win, let's say a book, you get the cost of however much that book was worth keeps getting tallied. And at the end,
So it's
once
not
all your
cash
prizes,
only, it's everything.
everything gets tallied into one pot. So they say how much everything's worth. And once you get up to 1 million yen worth of stuff, you're done.
So hang on, if there's no food in this place and he won like a gift basket, he couldn't grab the gift basket to eat?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay. So he didn't have to.
Everything got delivered
Okay.
to that apartment.
But
Anything
he wouldn't like that wouldn't go towards his total if he ate it.
Oh, it definitely would. He's allowed to eat.
Oh.
everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
is he responsible for feeding himself?
We'll get to it. Okay, so it's just because there's a big part on it. So he would so the producers also got Nasubi. They also told him if you want to be on the show, you have to change the tapes and the cameras every 2 hours. And they give him a stack of tapes.
Oh God, I'd leave right then.
And every day they come to pick it up and they give him new ones every single day, once a day. And he happily agrees to these terms. And he's fucking all smiles. I'll tell you that much.
I would
Then
make a deal. I would like 2 tapes and maybe give me a Mr. Noodle every time when I change the tapes and a toilet paper roll. Boom.
you're starting to make deals. You want tapes? You get toilet paper.
He probably doesn't drive because like nobody does there because there's too many people. So he probably didn't like leave his car double parked or anything. But doesn't he have like a job that he needs to show up for, or like a family that he needs to take care of? Like, do they tell these people that this happened, or is the stack of postcards so that he can write fake letters and be like, "I'm fine. Don't come looking for me."
I don't know if he actually did that. He probably should have. That would have been smart. But it doesn't take anybody long in his family to find out that he's on this game show.
Oh.
If that's a good enough hint.
So he didn't like tell anybody, his boss or anything. They just stuck him in this room and they were like,
no.
They gave him a phone, right?
He's got a phone. He's got, I don't know how much they let him like call out. I was thinking that like he should have called his family and stuff, but they don't show that part. They cut out, like, I didn't get to see it live as it's going. So I just get what's scraps given to me on this whole thing. So I'm guessing he must have called or whatever, or did they let him? I don't know. We'll see in a second. I honestly don't know how much they let him use that phone, unless it was to call a radio station.
As long as it takes to win this much, or he has to win it within a certain period of time?
As long as it takes.
Okay, cool. I'm ready. Continue.
Okay. So then before the producers of the show left, they tell Nasubi to take his clothes off.
What?
They tell him if you want clothes, you have to win them through the sweepstakes. You get nothing.
Wait.
Naked.
They put this on TV.
Damn it. Well, that takes my plan, because I was like, he's wearing that long sleeve black and white emo style undershirt. Like, I would take that off and start cutting it into little slivers to use as toilet paper. But now that's taken that out.
The magazines?
No, you need them for the sweepstakes, Celeste.
Not every page. Have you ever seen a magazine?
Have you ever paper cut your ring?
No, you probably haven't seen a magazine because there's so many porno magazines.
I don't even think he uses the fucking magazines, to tell you the truth. He probably should have.
What?
Yeah, at this point, I don't think he was.
Is this man like
kidding.
special?
Yeah.
His
let's
head
say
would
special.
suggest.
His head kind of does suggest special a little bit.
He looks
So-
a bit, Abraham Lincoln-ish. Anyway, keep going.
That's
He
okay.
was a plant. Sorry. They picked out
an eggplant. He was an eggplant.
Yes, he was an eggplant plant. They picked out this special one in advance.
It could be.
The one that was like, "Hi, my name's," and he's like fisting
I
the air
am
for
Groot.
some reason.
I am Groot.
I am Nasubi.
I am
So-
eggplant.
The second they tell him, he's all smiles at that point. So second they say, time to take off your clothes, his face changes from like glee to like becoming famous. Like, I have to get nude. God damn it. Like, this is the first time he like questions any of this, right?
Oh no,
Yeah,
pee-pee so tiny.
One on there.
Barely.
So, barely. I was listening to This American Life about this. They have like a quick half episode on it, and Nasubi's talking to he's getting interviewed by the lady, and he explains on This American Life that he wasn't against the nudity. It was more that he didn't want to break a promise to his dad. So it wasn't easy for him to convince his policeman of a dad, Japanese policeman of a dad, to like let him go into the entertainment industry.
Right.
So after a lot of convincing, his father finally allowed him to pursue his dream of comedy under one condition: don't strip. Like, that was his dad's one thing, and he's like,
Right.
oh, I can't. I guess I have to get naked. Sorry, Dad.
Question.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Sorry again. Do you do a lot of gigs at strip clubs as a comedian, or
I have never, but RJ told a wicked story last episode about him doing a show at a strip club, a private strip club. So
Oh, I
it
wish
happens.
RJ was still here.
So wait, do you ever get your brown noodle out for comedy?
I mean, for the right money, I'll get everything out. Hey, I'm here, and I was not even the first option. So
That's the spirit.
Not that I don't love you and I want you here. I just want to put you on a
Hey.
different episode.
Hey, Samit, I came for you. Oh,
I know,
demand
right?
that you be here, as I've done every single time we've recorded for the last several months.
Yeah, she has definitely. I told you she's been wanting you. So Nasubi, he complies, takes his clothes off, and since his dick is like visible a lot during the time they're filming, they cover it.
Is it?
And I'm not joking. They cover it with an eggplant emoji. This is 1998. This is 1998. So
But
this
they
is like
could have just put like a cutout of his head over it, and it would have been the same thing.
yeah, exactly. Just a little tilted to the side and put a little knob on the top for sure. But yeah, no, eggplant emoji. And it's like the first time eggplant emoji was used for a dick. So I don't know if that means dick because of that. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah,
1998 seems like that's earlier than I thought, to be honest.
that's very early.
They had emojis in 1998.
They wasn't even an emoji. That's what I'm saying. They just, because his name was Eggplant. So to cover his dick throughout the show, they used an eggplant. Like, that's because his name is Eggplant. Right? But
There you
it's just
go.
funny that it ended up turning into a dick thing later.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well,
is it because of that? I don't know. But
oh my God, if it is, that is brilliant.
yeah. So it's not like when he first starts the show, he's just like, I'm showing my dick. Right away, they have that cushion and he like gets naked and he gets behind the cushion. So he's covering his junk for the first bunch of
Oh, are
time.
you all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm good.
And the other thing is, then the producers leave after they get him naked. But like, the one thing about this I want everyone to know, he's not locked in the room or anything, ever. Okay? He can get out and leave anytime he wants.
Naked.
He could. If he wanted to leave, he could leave. So just keep that in mind this whole time. He could fucking leave this whole time. All right?
You can
he
also
knew-
use the magazines to fashion a nice, toga.
Yeah, true. He's not thinking
No,
creatively.
True. So Nasubi knew that they were filming everything, and he thought it would all be cut into a show after the whole ordeal was over. That's why he was changing the tapes. What Nasubi didn't know is that all of his exploits were being aired live on TV, and
That
each
seems
Sunday,
illegal.
the producers would cut together the funniest parts to make half-hour episodes.
That seems illegal.
It
I
definitely
have
does.
to watch this. I have to watch
It
this.
seems unethical, right? And they take the funniest parts, and this is why I started feeling bad, because like when I say funniest, I mean the parts of the show where Nasubi's suffering or being himself as like no one was watching, because he doesn't understand, he doesn't know it's being live streamed. So you do weird shit when you're by yourself. He starts doing some weird shit, but like that's because he thinks he's by himself. No one's watching him. Like, anyways, I kind of, this is where I start feeling bad for the guy, because it's like Sometimes he's like,
that's bad.
he's like super sad or something, and they go, bah, bah, and like the sound effects in the background, like just like trying to like look at him cry, like what? But I get how that might have been funny in like 1998, but not.
That's terrifying. Oh my God, the shit that I do by myself. That's so scary.
Oh, I do the shit I do by myself. I do in front of other people anyway, so I wouldn't. Really care.
There are a few things I can think of that I definitely don't do in front of other people.
Yeah, there's lots of things. Everybody has something. Bo, you have something.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't fuck in front of anybody.
Come on. The one thing I want you to
thing that I want you to do in front of me.
But like, I don't know. But yeah.
We're like unethicucks. Unethicucks. That's a great one.
That is a good one.
So yeah, so this is where I feel bad for the guy when you're watching it. It's just because they put the sound effects and shit, but he doesn't know. This case is often referred to as the Japanese Truman Show. So just before the producers leave, they ask Nasubi what he's going to go for first. And he says clothes, because that's the one thing he's fucking ashamed about right now.
Yeah.
So when he's finally left alone, he starts just reading the magazine Sweepstakes.
I'm sorry, I have another question. Yep. I'm so sorry. He has got a bed and shit in here, though?
Nope.
No bed.
That cushion. He's got that cushion.
So it's one room, or is it just like a room and a bathroom?
It's a room and a bathroom, yeah. It's like the bathroom's like a closet size bath. You could probably close the closet. That would be the size of it.
Until he wins stuff, he sleeps naked on a cushion?
Yeah. On the ground, basically, because the cushion's like a maybe bigger than just a normal size pillow, like a couch cushion kind of size cushion. Like you can sit on it.
Like a dog, naked on a cushion.
Essentially, yeah. It's more like a like outdoor patio cushion size cushion. You know, like not like a
like a deck chair cushion.
Yeah, something like that. It would be something maybe a bit thicker.
Well, you saw it. Could he lay on it, or would he have
no,
to be like
half body, yeah. Like he would lay on it, and his head would be on it, and his down to his lower back, and then his feet and his ass and everything would be hanging off the edge of it.
Bo, if you could kindly stop being all sexy, put your hair back up.
It was hurting my head. I was like, oh fuck my head.
Well, now it's hurting mine.
Sorry.
So Nasubi's off on his race here. He finally he starts reading the magazines, and the first one he finds that he writes to is to win an apron, because that's the only piece of clothing he can find. And just an FYI for everyone, I'm just going to cut it off right now. He never wins any clothes through the entire time he is there. He wins some women's underwear that don't fit him once. That's it. That's the only clothes he ever wins. So he's nude the entire time.
That'd get old really fast.
Yeah. Nasubi would fill up many postcards entering sweepstakes over the time he was there. In his first month, he would apply to 5,748 sweepstakes lotteries. First, yeah, that was the first month. Yeah. So at first, Nasubi would go without food. He loses a shit ton of weight. People start actually getting very scared for Nasubi's health.
He wasn't a big guy to start with.
Yeah, and he starts getting like scrawny. You can start seeing his like chest coming out.
Collarbones,
his collarbones getting all super skinny. And apparently the producers of the show were like, or I guess the crew, not really the producers, because the producers are kind of dickheads in this, but the crew were kind of feeling bad for him, so they would give him like a little bit of bread what amounted to like a slice of bread just to keep him going, because they felt they were going to kill the fucking guy. So basically starving is what I'm saying.
Ooh.
And
oh my God, Electric Boy, what are you doing?
While he's starving, on the 6th day, a ramen delivery boy comes to the door to deliver food, but realizes he's at the wrong door after Nasubi has no money, and he leaves.
I would have just fucking tackled him at that point. I would have been like, "You're giving me that food."
Yeah, you should see that. You should see the disappointment in him. Like he's just like.
Was that a plant too? Did they do that specifically?
That must have been.
Him?
No one's ever said that's what it is, but that for sure is a plant by the producers, guaranteed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just watching, he's like, noodles, and then just watching the life fade out of his eyes as the noodle man leaves the front door.
Yeah. No, basically, you're not wrong. That's basically, he went and sat down. He was like, actually, he talks to the guy for a second. He's like, 1,700 yen total. And he goes, I don't have any money. He goes, okay, bye. And you just see Nasubi kind of like, you ever watched Arrested Development when they walk away all sad? It was like, do. He just like walks over to the. And
he's just like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Pretty much.
Do not proceed, Noodle Man.
it takes it takes him 2 weeks to win his first prize, which was, and it's what is see, I saw a bunch of different things. A jar of jelly. I've also seen it with sugary drinks.
Oh,
But
that was it.
final
Submit has
verdict-
no more in him. He's like, Submit just left. Sorry, Richard, before you tell us what he won, do you know how many sweepstakes he had entered before he won? Like, what's the ratio?
I'll tell you at the end how much he actually did over the whole
Oh,
time he
okay,
was there.
sorry. Yep.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I just wanted you to get an idea where he started, like $5,000 in a month. That's a lot, but you'll see how much it
Yeah.
ends up getting me.
So 2 weeks in, he wins some jam. All right.
He wins jam, but that's what people kept saying jam jelly. So I went and watched the actual. That's why I watched the whole thing. I'm like, I got to understand this more. And I found the name of it. It's called fiber jelly. It's 12 pods of fiber jelly, which is basically like a jelly drink, but it's to help you like shit. It's like a protein, like it helps you shit. Fibery jelly drink.
No,
he
he
can't
doesn't
afford
need
to
that.
shit out. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all he has, right? So that fiber jelly. You should have seen how pumped he was when he got it. He was pretty pumped because it wasn't super pumped because he was like, it's fiber jelly, but he was pumped enough because I have food. And he drank it. This is the greatest thing. It's like a juice container. You know those ones that are about this big and it's like lined with aluminum or metal or something on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, so those
that's
are
what it
like,
came
that's
in.
a decent size.
Yeah, 12 of them. Yeah, he got enough. He got quite a bit, and he was starving. So fuck, it probably tastes the best. Probably the best meal he's ever had, honestly.
And he could make clothes out of that, and it's aluminium on the inside. Sorry, I was copying Richard's stupid accent then. It was aluminium on the inside. He could have fashioned 12 of those cartons into an outfit.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You could have been Mr. Roboto by the end of the week.
And the metal on the inside keep him warm.
It's not actually metal on the inside, but okay.
Shh. Don't
after-
ruin this for me, Celeste.
Right after he wins a couple days after he wins the jelly drink shit, he wins.
He shits his fucking brains out.
Yeah.
No.
And in the background, it's like wah wah.
Probably, honestly, like that would have happened. I'm sure of it.
Oh,
The producers
that
have
poor
to kick the guy out of the house because they have to clean the shitter because shit.
Yeah.
So much.
I don't have any toilet paper.
Yeah, so he shits his pants, I'm sure, all the way through. But
No, he
after
doesn't.
that,
He doesn't
the
have
next
any
thing he wins,
pants.
He doesn't have
Yeah,
any
that's right.
pants. He
Shits
shits
the
his
floor.
cushion. Yeah.
he probably makes it to the toilet. He doesn't have much to do. He's not like waiting in line. He's just running there. Yeah, he wins a 5-kilogram bag of rice a couple days later. Too much celebration. He's very happy about this.
Wait. Does he have running water?
He does.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he has
okay.
running water. Does he have a pot?
He has
No.
a little burner thing, right? Electric
Yeah, but he has a
stove?
burner, but no pot. How's
Doesn't
he
have a
going to
pot.
cook the rice?
I don't know. We'll see. He's
In
got
those
some.
containers.
He's
Oh.
by this time. Okay, a couple side notes before I keep going on here. After he gets the race, he doesn't really give a shit about being naked anymore. After 2 weeks of starving, that's the least of his fucking concerns. So he's just
Yeah.
flagging around. And he also starts writing in the notebook during this time. He starts like keeping a diary. All right. I don't know exactly when he starts the diary, but it's early on. It's not like 3 weeks in or whatever. It's like the couple first days. So I just want you guys to know he's writing about this whole thing too.
Yeah.
So back to the race. So here's a video of him winning the race. Actually, I'll show you that real quick. I got.
Yay.
Oh, God, the poor
You
guy.
should see how pumped he is when he gets it. That's why I had to show you. So this is his little apartment now. You guys can see it now how it looks. Little table in the middle of the room. Here's all his magazines.
AC.
本当ですか
パンパカパンパンパンパンパンパカパンやりました
ありがとうございますやったー当選第2号うわーファイバーゼリー飲んでていいことあったなー米が当たったバザー
Oh, look at how skinny he is.
Yeah. I was drinking my jelly and a piece of good news came in. So he's very pumped about his rice. Just 2 weeks.
He
of
wants
being
to celebrate with a Chinese tree. Oh, no, that's bonsai. Anyway, keep going.
starving.
Sorry.
That was a bad joke, but I'll give it to you.
I'm going to give you a ticker for that one, honestly.
He
Let me tell you something. When you're like going when you immigrating to other country illegally, that's what you basically do. You have like a big, huge bag of white rice cooked already with you. You're sitting in a container and just spending a month there. So basically,
yeah.
that's not a new concept. Like
Are
kind of
you
normal.
talking from experience? Are you?
Oh yeah.
I'm just finishing it now. Just handfuls of it. So he celebrated that rice like a poor kid getting a Christmas present. You know, he was very excited. But then he soon realized as soon as he gets it, he has no pot to cook it in.
Oh no.
So what he does is he just starts eating it raw, like an idiot. And he starts going like, I can't eat this raw. It's fucking disgusting. Then he just eventually figures out a way to cook the rice using the metal-lined fiber deli container and setting it close to his burner. So Celeste called it.
Yep.
This is still just January. Like he hasn't even gotten out of January yet. February, his efforts prove worthwhile and he starts to win some stuff. He wins 1,000 yen. So that just money came in, which was nice. Some body soap and some canned spaghetti with no can opener. So he's pissed about that, to name a couple things. He also gets a bag of dog kibble and some canned food. And
But
when
no
he
can
runs,
opener.
when he runs out of dog food usually has like a tab pull.
No.
No.
Yes. When he runs out of the rice, his main source of food is the
No,
dog
eat
food.
it with the rice at least. Come on.
Yeah.
But the rice is not even cooked, so I don't know. It will
He
be
probably he got it cooked because he's figured out how to way to do it. But he probably thought like, I don't have to eat this dog food. I'll eat up all my rice. By the time the rice is done, I'll win some more food. So it was like out of desperation. He wasn't planning ahead to eat the dog food. You'd have to do that with the rice to mix it with it, Celeste. He thought like, I'll never eat that dog food. I'll get something else. But he did eventually, but he didn't yet. He started eating the dog food.
Oh.
Now he doesn't even eat human food anymore.
It's not weeks. It's like weeks before he gets another bag of rice. So Nasubi.
But he had canned food and no can opener and nothing to open it with.
Canned spaghetti. But
Correct.
could you imagine sitting there eating your dog food, like looking at the canned spaghetti, being like, oh, this spaghetti's so good.
I feel like I would have figured out a way to get into the spaghetti. It can't be that hard.
He eventually gets into it. He doesn't do it right away, though. That's for sure. He eats the dog food. You're right. I would be smashing it up against the ground. I'd be doing something, right? There's like it's a
I
corner of a
would put
table.
it on the burner
Like, smash
so
it
it
to the corner of the table.
exploded.
Loads.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd put it on the burner so it exploded and then just lick it off the walls.
for sure. Yeah. But nothing. I'm gonna be more starving than Nasubi to eat dog food. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be a little bit more than that, buddy.
See,
gotta be more desperate.
I would eat the dog food with the rice.
Yeah.
I would
But
not
you'd
eat
have
it
to
by
pre-plan.
itself.
You'd have to pre-plan that. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to.
Yeah, but I've already been starving. So I immediately would be like, okay, you know what? If I get low on rice, I'm starting to mix it with the dog food.
Yeah, I would have done it to make the rice last longer. So I would have been like, I could have the same amount of intake of food if I mix my rice with my dog food now, and it will make the dog food taste less shit. Hope, fingers crossed. And I would just look and pretend I was smelling the can of spaghetti the whole time, because that's the thing I can't get past. I can smell the dog food in, like, right now, thinking about eating it. The smell is what would get me, right? Like, that would be the problem.
And you know he's crying the entire time. So he's got
100%.
salt handy from those tears. He can flavor it.
Oh, dude, that is so smart.
The
I would be
sad and the
crying
spice.
into my rice dog food mixture. And it would make an okay substitute until I could get into my fucking spaghetti.
Yeah. Okay.
I would make like a rice thing with that fiber thing, just add some handful of rice into fiber, mix it up, and just chug it.
Yeah.
So now you're shitting. And
No, sorry. The idea of just like gulping it down as like a smoothie mixture is worse than eating it with rice. That's so
you
much
know what?
worse.
That's smart. Like, if you get the rice, mix the rice, the dog food, and the drink. Hopefully that drink is potent enough to get rid of the dog food taste and smell. You've got extended rice life then.
Okay, so low key, I don't know if you guys have this there, but there's this, it's like Puritan or something. It's like Irish stew, and then they have meatballs in like gravy. It's canned. And it smells exactly like dog food. And it tastes really good. So I feel like I could easily stomach dog food. We were poor growing up. I ate a lot of that shit.
Okay.
Smith, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, I was like, and I would empty the rice bag. So the next time noodle guy comes in, I'll cover his head, beat the shit out of him, rob his ass, and take the noodles.
Or rice bag, fashion it into some jocks.
Oh, yeah, he could.
That's a good point. He
Yes.
had how big? A 5-pound bag of rice?
Exactly.
5
right?
Make a
kilo
loin-
actually.
He could make a loincloth with that.
Yeah, he lost enough weight, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
you
not
know what,
thinking. He's not thinking. Okay,
Yeah.
To be
so
very honest, because he was starving, he got thinner. Now you can see his abs, so now he's liking it and he just want to show everybody. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
That's true.
yeah, Nasubi starts to forget about the cameras a lot more too, and he starts to go more and more crazy at this point. He started to do weird shit in front of the camera he wasn't really doing before. But most of his days are spent writing out ballots to win contests and waiting at the doorbell ring and the phone to ring for get more of his winnings, right? He wins later on, he wins a stuffed seal teddy bear thing, and he takes it for a walk around the room. He
Betting!
this is
Betting!
yeah, you got a friend. You got
I
a
feel like-
Wilson.
I'd try to fuck it.
He probably did.
I was about to say I would fuck it.
He wins an action figure and almost immediately starts to talk to it, calling it. He starts to call it his sensei, and he starts getting life advice from it.
Fair. That's totally fine.
How did
this
I
is-
end up
medium.
here, Sensei?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the comedian in him. You know, he's trying
Yeah.
to be creative there.
and
Oh,
as
no,
this-
he is not creative enough for this. Anyway, keep going, Richard. Sorry.
no,
Yeah, that's
fine.
true.
That's
He
good.
must
That's a good
Any
argument.
comedian. How does he come up with bits? He can't even make pants.
Yeah. With a 5-kilo bag of rice that obviously has a string pull on it. He doesn't look at that and go, oh, I can make jocks out of that. Yeah, this guy is not creative enough to be in this situation.
Just to play devil's advocate, because I agree. I think that he could have been a lot more creative with things, but just to play devil's advocate, I think he doesn't know that this is happening live. He just thinks like, I need to succeed so I can become famous. So focus on the task at hand. I don't give a fuck about clothes at this point. I'm just gonna win.
But
'Cause I
no,
wanna
he
be
doesn't know
famous.
it's
I wanna
live.
make
That's
money.
fine.
Yeah.
If regardless of whether I was live or I was in there just by myself doing this exact same situation, my ADD brain would not be able to not make things like you'd look like the camera had panned back into me and I would have taken all of the leftover magazines that I'd actually done and I would have made a human. Like I would have made a person that I could then be friends with. You'd see me dancing with it. Like I would be having a creative time there. I'd make glasses out of the inside of those packets of things. Like there is so much, regardless of whether he's been paid attention to or not, his brain would have been looking for that as well. Or my brain would have been.
6 months
Sure,
and they'd
but-
kick you out because you hadn't won anything. You forgot why you were there in the first place.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you got to keep earning too, because these are like 1 in a million chances of winning some of these fucking things. So he's got to put about as many ballots as possible to get out of that fucking room.
Sorry, did
Yeah.
you say that sometimes the sweepstakes will come to his door?
Yeah, people deliver all this shit to him.
And
so
he's nude?
yeah, he just opens the door, crack, grabs it, and puts it back in. Yeah.
Congratulations, you won this. And he's like,
No. They'll call him on the phone and go, "You won this," and he'll go, "Oh, cool, deliver it here."
oh,
And then
so
some
this
just
isn't
delivery
like
man
the
will just drive
like
it.
what's
No,
what
no,
the
no,
fuck
no.
is like the people that come with the big checks to
The
like
big
people's
checks,
doors?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I hope I never saw anything like that, but that would have been funny too. Just like some of the bag of rice, you're the big winner. Oh,
Ooh.
You know
Miss-
what?
Alright.
Don't be like Noodle Man. Come back.
Mr. Eggplant-san, I can see your noodle.
I would do so good in this show because first of all the delivery guys would be like either related to me or my cousin. So they would give me shit.
Correct. Yep.
Second of all, where does the clothes mostly get designed? In India, so I would be able to make something out of something. And last
Correct.
of all, I don't know, I would be naked there. People will not like to see me anyway, so I'll be having fun and making bits. And I would be like, why people have this TV show where they put this person in one bed and now I have to do all this, and I will make so many jokes out of it. I would have done so
Yeah. No, well, I mean, people would tune in because they'd really want to see the hairy dick.
that's true. That's true. But they cover it with like I don't know what's racist to cover it with, like
I don't know,
A
paneer
monkey.
chunk or something.
little monkey. Yeah.
Yeah,
a
monkey too.
samosa.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
monkey.
he's talking to the action figure. He's going crazy. The show is getting ridiculously popular in Japan at this point. But it's the show is hard for Nasubi. At this point, it's 6 months in. and Nasubi has just gotten to the halfway point of 500,000 yen. And he's filled out 38,000 entries at this point, contest entries. So he's 6 months into this, halfway down.
And he's got RSI now in his hand for sure.
How much dog food is he eating?
A couple sacks of it, but he's gotten rice and stuff
Sacks?
since. Yeah, like big ass bag of it, like a big dog kibble fucking thing.
Because
He
you
ate a
got
sack.
kibbles as well as the wet food in
as,
cans.
as well as the wet food. Yeah,
So he ate all the cans.
he definitely took care of it for sure.
He ate all the cans already, and then he's working on the kibble now.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's eating rice now. He got rice after a while. He's back to rice. He's actually eating normal-ish stuff for a little while.
Cool. He's winning a lot of rice. That's
It's easy one to win,
racist.
I would imagine.
Something.
But like, it's
Yeah.
also like 10 yen off of it's also like 10 yen off of his debt. Like he wants to win bigger things, but he needs to eat too. So yeah, by this time,
that's how much 5
I-
kilos of rice
I
costs?
just said a word. I don't know how much
Oh.
it is. It's just,
I was like,
it's
that
not a
doesn't sound
massive
like
amount
much.
of number. It's not a massive enough number to like take a good chunk off is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So by this time, though, a 6-month mark, the producers had set up a live stream that ran 24 hours a day now on the internet. And this is 1998 or 1999 internet. So that was fucking blew my mind too. They were live streaming 24 hours a day. And
No,
they
it's Japan. You know they already had 5G. Like
It's-
when
probably.
the rest of us haven't caught up. We're still
But-
on modems.
I found this super funny. They had to employ 50 people just to keep the eggplant over his junk. So like to cover his junk on live TV and the internet, they had to use like a joystick that controlled the eggplant and moved the joystick around, covering his dick in the process. They had 50 people doing this. Like that's hilarious to me.
What do
Could
they
you
put on
imagine?
their tax return?
Yeah. What do you do for a living? I'm a junk joysticker.
I'm an eggplanter.
I specialize in vegetable censorship.
That needs to be Celeste's intro one. I specialize in vegetable censorship.
Oh my god. They're like, we will not give you food, but we have 50 people who will call you.
Yes. We have 50 people taking care of your knob. Like,
What,
it's
you want an underwear? No, sir.
But he
I've got
doesn't
my
even know.
joysticker.
That's the best part. He doesn't even know. Like that's so crazy. He doesn't even know that's happening.
Yeah, this is
So-
like full Truman Show now.
Yeah,
24
it
hours
is.
a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did win some pretty cool stuff around the 6-month mark. He won a TV, but he couldn't hook it up to anything. No cable or cable antenna or anything. They just didn't want him to know that he was on TV, so they didn't give him any cable. He won a train simulator game for the PlayStation,
That
but
he
he
couldn't
didn't,
play.
have, he didn't have a PlayStation.
Oh.
He also won some VHS tapes, but he didn't have a
That he couldn't
VCR.
play.
Oh.
He won movie tickets and to the Spice World movie that was like premiering. He got premiere tickets to the
Yes!
Spice
Did
World.
he go?
He cannot go. He's like, I gotta stay in this room, make more money.
But
He
you said
also
he
won
could
a-
leave anytime.
He could have. He just didn't.
You-
So he
Um,
could have gone naked to the Spice World.
Definitely, 100%. He won a bike, but he didn't leave the apartment either. So he kind of like set it. He took off. He drove around the apartment like just like dummy. Then he took the front wheel off and made it a stationary bike after a while. So he got
Excuse
like
me. Did
yeah.
at any point when he was getting set up in this, did the producers at any point say to him, "You can't leave the apartment," or they told him you could leave at any time?
They didn't tell him. They just said, if you want to win, you stay here and enter things. They didn't say whether he could leave or not. People would come to the door. The door would open. He would get deliveries. Like he could open the door and walk out anytime he wanted to.
Oh God, his critical thinking is to shit. Like he.
But he thinks if he does that, he's not going to get his fame that he's trying to go for. He's going to lose the game. So he has
the
to,
show won't air. They'll just get somebody
exactly.
else.
They're just
But
not
no
going to
one
play
told him that. But no one told
Nope.
him that.
But he just
didn't,
made that
he
up.
didn't
on his
ask
own.
questions, I think, is what the problem is here.
Well, he got ambushed too. Remember, like they said, come be in an audition. Okay, I'm here for an audition today. Then later that afternoon, he's shot off in a room naked. Like it's not. There was no prep to this. It was just like, I'm going to an audition this morning. I am making a TV show this afternoon. That's a big jump.
If I had $1.
Yeah.
If I had a yen,
So-
We're bringing that old chestnut back for this episode.
The show is so popular, actually, at this point, that the apartment Nasubi was living at was uncovered by the paparazzi. Just by like when they saw people delivering stuff, they would kind of figure out what the place was from. They would figure out that, anyways, however they did it, they just pinpointed a bunch of different incidents and they kind of figured out where he was. Nobody really knows exactly how, but I figure like it's got to be just method of like 100 different. Like, plus, there's 50 people working on his dick. You know what I mean? Like somebody has to tell that story at the bar. Like I'm working on covering Nasubi's cock all day. Yay! Where is he? I probably shouldn't say, but yeah, exactly. So when they figured out they're parked outside the house all the time, or the apartment building all the time, and like chanting and being very loud, so the producers decide that they need to move Nasubi. So it's time to move him. You can't stay there anymore. It's new secret location.
Oh, because of the paparazzi. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So they decide, let's make a show out of the move. That's what they think, the producers. So to make it interesting, they wake him up in the middle of the night, give him clothes, blindfold him again, and bring him to a new apartment. So
you should have set it on fire. That would have been much more interesting.
Just fucking scare the shit out of him. Yeah. Get out of here. Yeah. But I can't leave. I won't win. And he just dies in the fire.
clutching his postcards.
Only 14,000 more yen. Like the end of Schindler's List, you know, he's like, I could have saved one more.
Wait, does he know what his tally is?
They tell him they don't tell him all the time, but he gets an idea like every other kind of day. Like they do tell him, they update him. They don't tell him like as everything comes in, but they bring him to a new apartment. When they take off his blindfold, he's just in a new place that's similar to the old place, exactly the same, really. All his winnings and stuff have been transferred over to the new place, along with more pre-stamped postcards and a fresh rack of up-to-date magazines. When Nasubi asks, like, why did you move me? They told him it was his new address would quote, bring in more luck. So Nasubi,
they really believe in that shit over there, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. Nasubi
you
gets
in
naked.
Apartment 88. Sorry, that's Chinese lucky number. That was me. Sorry, Anyway,
that's on the tally because they can't tell the difference between Asians. Okay.
This is the second time.
So I don't know if they prompt him on this one, but Nasubi gets naked and he gets to work. I don't know if anyone's like, give me your clothes. I don't really understand. I think he just gets naked, honestly. I don't know if I think they tell him to give him his clothes, honestly. Now that I'm thinking about it, pretty sure on the second one, they tell him to give him his clothes. So the first thing he wins in his new place is a desk and chair. And perfect. It's super helpful for him. Now he doesn't have to sit on the fucking floor. And he continues writing sweepstakes. By the end of October, so this has gone on since January, so we're 10 months in now, Nasubi had filled out 17,000 entries.
Wow.
We are 10 months into this show, you're saying?
10 months in now, yeah. He's getting crazier and crazier. But after the first move, Nasubi had a long streak of bad luck. So the producers told him they moved him for good luck.
The first move?
Yeah, after his first move. Nasubi had a long streak of bad luck. So the producers told him that this was for good luck. So to combat the lack of action in the show and to back up their luck claim, the producers moved Nasubi again. Middle of the night. Wake him up, same thing, dress him up, blindfold him, bring him to a place where all his old stuff was. Nasubi gets naked, back to work. At his third place, Nasubi had much more luck in the sweepstakes. He won the VCR, so now he had a bunch of fucking movies he could watch.
Woohoo!
Oh, wait, does he have a TV?
No, he won the TV, remember?
Yeah, but I thought you said he couldn't hook it up. Oh, but because it's no cable. Gotcha.
Now he has a VCR, yeah.
Yeah.
And almost right after that, he wins a PlayStation. So
to play his game.
Yeah, so he can win his game. So he did get good luck on his third apartment. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm winning things. And everyone's
no food though, right?
He's actually winning food slowly as things go through this. He doesn't really start for the end part of it. Just
he got a PlayStation, Sumit. Focus on what matters. Focus on what matters.
All he needs is his dog kibble and his PlayStation.
Yeah, he's got dog kibble. He's like,
he's just eating it like a bag of chips now. I like the red ones. I eat the red ones last.
He's watching Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift on the TV, and he's like, "What should I eat now? Dog food or I don't know."
So Nasubi sets up his PlayStation and he plays his train simulator game for 4 days straight before he looks at himself and he goes, "I should start applying again for sweepstakes or I'll be here forever." So he just stops cold turkey. He also, just after this, he wins a watermelon, which he's fucking pumped about, and more movie tickets. He wins a tent, which is fun because he sets it up in the middle of the fucking room and
with his cushion.
Yeah, with his cushion. He wins some tires, like a set of tires, and 10K yen value worth of coupons, that's a good chunk for him.
That's
So-
good.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to the grocery store with that shit.
No,
10
because he
months?
doesn't leave.
He won't leave. He doesn't want to
I
lose.
mean, call or something.
Yeah.
10 months into living on Sweepstakes is when he wins his first batch of toilet paper.
He doesn't even like it anymore, I bet you.
Yeah, he was,
Yes!
he was-
Yes, Nasubi!
yeah. So after 335 days, Nasubi gets his final bag of rice and finally earns his 1 million yen.
How many months?
335 days. So that's 11 months.
11
Just
months.
over 11 months.
Yeah, okay. Go,
Okay.
Subi!
I'm
The
gonna
Subs.
The
before I show
eggplant.
you a video of him winning, I'm gonna tell you that 335 days living only on winnings is a Guinness World Record that Nasubi still holds to this day.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's on
so-
my bucket list. Not
be on a-
doing
to get a
that.
Guinness?
To get a
Yeah.
to get a Guinness.
Yeah, he's got one.
Well,
Okay,
hear
so I'm gonna
that?
show
You
you.
only have to live 336 days on
Yeah,
winning.
just start signing up. If you have the internet, it'd probably be a lot faster. You could figure out a way to like get super lots of sweepstakes on the internet. Yeah, I feel like that's a thing. There's probably a subgroup of Reddit somewhere where it's like sign up for sweepstakes, and you could just fucking have a million websites now. Anyways, and you can just autofill it, auto population them. Like I feel like that would be easy.
Yeah, but the problem with that is like because it was, like made by the reality TV show, nobody else can get that because we would have to pay bills and shit too, right? It would have to be orchestrated by somebody else where everything else is paid for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because then, yeah, there's too much. Yeah, you're right. You killed it.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's true. You're right though. I was like not thinking that way.
Oh, we should do that when our podcast takes off and we get really like super fucking rich. We'll do that.
Yeah, we should do
We'll
that.
try
That's
to
a great
break
idea.
the record and we'll get somebody crazy enough that we pay for everything else and they just sit in a room and do sweepstakes.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it.
You know what?
I'll do
Let's
it.
have
Just listen to the horror this man went through for an hour, and we've got two who want to do it right
Yeah.
fucking now.
and
I'll
we'll
do it.
compete each other.
Yes, Sumit. We'll go. Yes, yep. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is a tally of what he's won, and it's kind of like telling you where he's at, and he doesn't know that he's won yet at this point. Like he's wins just right after this, but he doesn't know. Okay, so
そして我々は一つの結論を得た。それは人は検証だけで生きていける。
I don't know if you guys saw the eggplant emoji jumping around with him right there. Okay.
There's someone with it.
はがきを書き始めた。しまった。ナスビはゴールしたことを全く気づいていない。早く知らせなくては。そこでプロデューサー登場。いよいよナスビにゴールを知る瞬間が近づく。
What do they do? Wait till the middle of the
懐
night.
中電灯の他にあるものを持っていた。
Shoot a firework in his face. Wake him up in the middle of the night, shoot a firework in his face, just so everyone's aware. They also dropped I don't know if you caught that, but they dropped the guy was carrying his torch or flashlight as we call it, and right on his dick by accident. Like buddy slipped, whoops, and drops it right on him. So he wakes up to getting a hit in the junk and a fucking thing in the face. Firework in the face.
ゴールを祝いクラッカーで祝福。しかしナスビはなかなか気づいてくれない。プロデューサーの祝福は続く。
Stop putting crackers in his face. God.
They just keep shooting him in his face, like 10 of them. And he's sitting there like he's in a fetal position on the ground, like cowering as if he's getting shot at. And he's like, I don't understand. What's this? Party popper? Correct, they say. I don't understand. It's a party popper, okay? What are they used? Come on. I guess when you congratulate someone,
100万になったってことですか
super correct. Then perhaps I made 1,000,000 yen. Super correct.
Super correct.
Hold on, wait a second. Excuse me. He covers himself with this little fucking mat. For real?
電波少年的検証生活
Really, truly, honestly, for real? Yep. And he's super happy.
Oh, look
Super
at that
relieved.
face.
I did it. He's pumped.
Boobs.
Okay, he's reached his goal. He's reached
そ
his
して
goal.
ここでプロデューサーが
Okay?
My man, Soobs.
All right. Wow. Fantastic. He's gotten his goal, guys.
1日前に抜かさ
And
れ
it's great. Then the producer
ですね
全てはこの一言から始ま
gives
っ
him
た
some clothes.
Clothes.
Okay. 11 months and 1 day ago, I got naked. There are my clothes, right?
ありえなかった
It all began with this talk.
いいんですか
Drip.
服の返却です
Can I wear my clothes? You mean? Yep. The return of the clothes.
行きます
Thank you for everything, is what he
ナ
says.
スビに現代人の証である
It's
パ
the
ンツ
real
着用の
deal.
瞬間が
We'll be outside.
訪れようとしている
The Subi pants. Here we go.
まずは右足
The moment he wears the pants, recertified as a member of modern society after 11 months. So, literally, like, just for the listening audience, with this like dramatic music, he's just putting on clothes. They're trying to like fucking stretch the comedy in this, but it keeps
I
going.
mean, he's given enough drama as it is. Look how fucking excited he is to put on pants.
Did he not come
Yeah.
with underwear?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
No wonder he
So-
didn't want to strip on the first episode. He's like, but I'm not wearing underwear, and I don't want people to know that.
I decided to freeball it today, and now this is the worst day. I could
Today
have
of
freeballed
all days.
Yes.
On the first day, they were probably like, well, if you've been wearing underwear, we'd let you keep it.
So he puts on the clothes,
したというふう
and then he goes. I just get too far back. So he puts the clothes on.
味わいながら一枚ずつ服を身につけていく
Pants installation complete is what they say.
そして全ての着衣が完了した頃には
Ramiro Nasubi takes great pleasure in getting dressed one item at a time.
しかしこの後ナスビの体にある
When he
変化が
finishes getting
訪れる
dressed,
なんか
the morning has come. I finally made it
いや
However-
一番気持ちいいや
after Nasubi's body has a weird reaction.
そんなナスビが
Kinda
待っていたのはゴールを祝うプレゼントの
So
嵐だっ
he
た
gets naked again.
まず第一弾は
Actually, this feels best, he says. Back to being naked. Okay, look. So he gets. I gotta break this down a little bit because this isn't over. I'd like to make you guys think this is over, but really isn't. It keeps going. So Nasubi gets this fucking ramen. Okay, it's his first like meal he's allowed to have that he doesn't have to win. Okay, so just watch his reaction to eating this fucking ramen.
第二弾は
韓国といえば焼肉
検証日記昨年11月
This is his prize number 2.
見てみると
They bring him to South Korea.
焼肉食いてー。
それをわざわざ覚えてくださって
They give him some
あり
meat.
がとうございます
第2弾は本場韓国で焼肉しかもうま
I'm just gonna go through this. It's quicker to go through it this way, but you guys get the point. They're brought to South Korea now for a trip. Okay, that's your second prize now. First prize was that fucking soup. Second prize, you get to go to Korea. So
And get more food.
Wait,
So
wait,
food.
wait.
and get more food.
All expenses paid?
Oh yeah, they bring him on like a
Okay.
trip. He has like a day out.
Okay.
Like give him his,
Right.
okay. So Nasubi. Okay, sorry, you got a question, Nasubi, before I go?
No, I was just saying, and the third prize is a Toyota Corolla.
Nasubi learns about his victory in the middle of the night when the producers wake him up again, showering him with streamers to celebrate his victory. Nasubi was given his clothes back and given some ramen. Him eating the ramen was filmed without Nasubi's knowledge and turned into a very popular commercial later on. So after the ramen, Nasubi's once again blindfolded, dragged out to a car. At this point, viewership for the show is at about 17 million viewers per episode every Sunday. 17 million.
Wow.
The highest watched Game of Thrones episode was 16.5 million viewers, just for some perspective. More popular than Game of Thrones.
Wow.
So he's taken to a surprise fourth location, which they took off his blindfold. Now he's in South Korea. Nasubi was brought out on a day in the town. Some fun for a job well done. According to producers, that is, Nasubi gets to eat some Korean barbecue, which he really wanted to do. They bring him to an amusement park. He's looking all crazy. He just first day back in society, like jump on a roller coaster, and he's like looks crazy doing it, but he's having fun. He's been grooming, like you guys could tell his hair is all fucking long and he's like bearded and stuff, so he has no like scissors or shavers or anything, so he just let himself go that way. But he's fucking happy. He's having the greatest day of his life. They bring him fishing near the end of the day. Okay. After the fishing trip, the producers of the show blindfold him again and bring him to a new apartment and tell him to take his clothes off. And they say, if you want to make it back to Japan, you'll have to do the sweepstakes again and to earn a flight home.
What the?
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
It's 17 million viewers, baby. Bullshit. We're not stopping this. So, they put him in a room. They changed the rules, but the blindfold was removed. Nasubi immediately recognized his new room to be quite the same as the other ones. A magazine rack, stacks of pre-stamped postcards, a pen. But this time there was something else. A Korean to Japanese dictionary, because now he was in Korea and the sweepstakes were in a different language.
No.
Nasubi gets naked and gets to work.
This producer
This
king.
Man, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, here we go again.
Yeah.
He's probably like, thank God I'm naked again.
Yeah,
Where's my bag of rice?
So he got all his stuff back in his room. So he had some rice from like that last bag of rice. So he's still got all his shit. So he's an experienced player at this point. You're right, Bo. He does crack his knuckles and says, let's fucking do this, right? So since he's an experienced player at this point, he made it his goal in 2 months. He made his goal in 2 months after 7,000 entries filled out and mailed. Since the goal was
Korea
achieved,
has better sweepstakes.
it was only he only needed to get a like business, or what's the lowest class, economy class flight. Okay, so cheapest flight you could get.
Okay, yep.
Right. So 2 months it took him. Since the goal was achieved too quickly for the producers, they changed the rules again.
No.
He needed to make enough for business class. Economy class too easy. So it didn't take Nasubi long to earn the money for that either, like less than a month, I believe, to bump it up to that. So the producers changed the game again and forced him to earn enough money for a first class ticket on Japan Airlines. Which is basically another million. Like, it's not that much. It's fucking 50,000, I think, or 500,000 or something again. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it's fucking outrageous. Like, making the game go on again. So he's at 11 months now, 2 months in for beating the first one. So he's at 13 months. Nasubi gets to work and wins a bunch more stuff. One of the things he wins is a live octopus, which I find crazy. They just puss, like, okay.
To eat.
Class, honestly, yeah. First class wasn't going to take him long, honestly. I think it took him another 2 months. When he finally earned enough money for the first class ticket, 15 months since the beginning of this journey, he was blindfolded, clothed, and brought to another secret location.
Oh.
You can tell at this point, Nasubi's lost all hope. When his blindfold when his blindfold was removed, Nasubi was in another apartment back in Japan.
Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry. So he also, by this point, has given up 15 months of his life, and he knows that he's going to get everything that he's won. So now he's got too much invested. So leaving would not make sense. Like,
Exactly.
you got
You're gonna
nothing
lose
to
all
show.
What am I going to do with my PlayStation? I don't have a PlayStation anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, he's like not even a functioning member of society. He doesn't even have a home at this point.
yeah, he's definitely evicted. But people know who he is. Like, everybody in Japan knows who he is. He's super famous, like
Yeah.
ultra famous.
Can
So
me and all
people-
my sweepstakes shit that you could clearly see in that video was like taking up half his room, move into your house, and all of Japan would be like, oh my god, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
To a point, yeah, for sure. They
You
could
can move in
probably-
with me and my mom and my dad and my grandma and my grandpa and my great grandma and my great grandpa and my 18 kids.
Racist.
So he was all this
unethical.
time in Korea playing all these games and he didn't even win a Elantra or nothing, like a Sonata, nothing.
Nothing good.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Excuse me, did I not hear live octopus?
Yeah, he got a live octopus.
He
Exactly.
fucked
He did get a live octopus.
You can't drive.
He fucked
You
it,
can't
that's-
drive a live octopus.
Yeah, that's true. You could fuck it though.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Best
that's right.
head ever he got.
Yeah,
from
they're
an
like
octopus.
obsessed with tentacles over there, dude.
Oh yeah, he probably had the time of his life.
Yeah.
So when he's back in this new apartment, they take his blindfold off. Before anybody says anything to Nasubi, he gets naked, as if by instinct. Okay. Nasubi didn't know this was actually the end of the game. The
And his
apartment they
mom
put
was
him,
there.
the apartment they put him in this time was just a stage prop. So he was inside what was wrapped up like a giant present on a giant stage of an audience of over 1,000.
And he's naked.
And the
Gosh.
present stage prop thing that he's inside of is collapsible. So after Nasubi's fully ready to get to work, meaning his balls are touching the ground, the walls of the apartment fall to reveal a huge studio audience of 1,000 people. This was supposed to be his victory show, and Nasubi got nude.
Now it's his dictory show.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you when Nasubi wins. What it
Yes!
looks like from his standpoint, or I guess from everybody's standpoint that was there. So I just want you guys to know this is like the saddest part of the whole thing to me is this part of it. So I'm gonna give you guys the prep of that. I know you guys are gonna change it to like, oh, look at him, he's hilarious, but it is actually fucking very sad.
He says while laughing.
Well, it's super sad for sure. It's just I've watched it so many times it's turned into humor. Like it's you know what I mean. I've watched it like 100 times. As the producer arrives, holding a light, producer searches for Nasubi.
What's with the jaw music?
Nasubi sighted. Oh,
Some guys, they're like,
yeah, sorry, that was the one. I thought it was that one. Yeah, they dropped the flashlight on his last one.
oh.
Right on his junk too. You can see it fall right on
That
his
was
dick.
so funny. The room is dark, and there's just this floating cartoon eggplant, and the subtitles say Nasubi sighted.
With jaw music playing, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a shark coming out of water.
Eggplant. Oh
Not on my dick. Oh, that is not a small torch.
ゴールしたことを知らされぬまま部屋から連れ出されたそんなナスビが向かったのは
God.
日本のとある会場そこでは松本と中
This movie is being taken to.
人々がナスビの帰国を待っていた
控え室まずはこちらをご覧くださいどうぞナスビ君いつものようにアイマスクヘッドホンをつけておなじみのプロデューサーに連れられて、ここにやってきますそしてこの部屋の中に入っていきますそしてナスビ君は
So they're just saying Nasubi's going to be wearing headphones and eye mask, and the whole crowd's laughing at like a animation of it happening.
始まりますそして我々がここにいるっていうことは何も知りません C です声を出さずにカウントダウン
Nine,
3, 2, 1
eight,
So they're just explaining there's going to be a countdown when he finally takes his blindfold off, and then at the end of the countdown, it'll pop open. They're explaining to the audience this before Nasubi gets in. All right, so they're being very quiet. Nasubi's here now. They're whispering. He's like walking blindfolded up into the fucking like my god.
もちろんアイマスクにヘッドホンをつけたナスビには
No, I don't think he's. Yeah.
No, he's not naked. They
Oh,
get him
no,
close.
he's got close.
1000人が見守る中控室に入れられアイマスクを外したナスビは驚くべき行動に出るなんと脱ぎ始めた
パンツどうしようかな引か脱いじゃっためんどくさいし
Just instinct naked.
この後裸祭りは最大のハイライトを迎えることにな
They're
る
sitting there going. laughing on the outside of it.
After this, the Naked Festival's greatest highlight will begin.
3, 2. They're just showing it from like 10 different angles. He's not making that sound 10 times. Nasubi, congratulations for reaching your goal. And they shoot a bunch of confetti in the air. 1,000 people cheering. He doesn't know where the fuck he is. Look at him. That is trauma. He's looking around like he's so confused. Doesn't know what's going on at all. People are yelling, well done, Nasubi, well done. Now they're gonna come interview him like they're David Attenborough going up to a fucking wild animal. His hand is frozen, he's frozen in shock. Applause, Nasubi, congratulations.
Oh, that...
Then he looks behind him, he sees that he's on a big screen behind him. It's like, where's that coming from? What's going on? He's still confused. Then he looks, he finds the camera.
Oh, man.
He goes, okay, that camera. That's going, okay. Okay. Then he realizes the two hosts are there.
Oh, the poor dude.
They walk up to him like they're fucking the crocodile hunter.
おめでとう、なすびくん。お邪魔します。
お邪魔します。
お邪魔します。
Sorry, please excuse us. This is the hosts.
すいません。
Get down on their knees.
お邪魔しますって。
どうも。なすびくん。
Nasubi's first thing he says is the house collapsed. Then all these people, he says. Why are they laughing, he says. Do you know where you are right now, or do you know where this is right now?
ここどこかわかる？
Do you know where this is right now? The other host. They finally tell him, dude, you won. That's why you're here.
Oh, that woman's...
He still looks confused.
She's
Like, what do you mean?
just clicked on.
All these guests have come to the arena to see Nasubi reach his goal, to see you reach your goal. You're the reason they're here. As guests, they're guests to see you, Nasubi. Is that so, huh? And then he kind of clicks. So that's why we're all here? Nasubi, you reached your goal. Oh, is that true?
なすびくんゴールしたのよ。
Yeah!
Then he realizes it's over. So,
そしてなすびくんが検証成
let's
功
take a little
して
beat
約
here
1
because,
年
like,
3ヶ月その間に
did you see how long that was between him being, like, exposed to that and, like, finally his brain catching up to what was going on? That's super sad to me. That was, like, fucking, like, you just almost broke that guy. Like, he was one, like, sweepstake away from fucking becoming a sweepstake man.
Yeah.
Not really. You see him later in life. Like, I'll talk about him a bit now. Today's he's still around.
I think he's slow.
Could be.
No, I'm not like disabled exactly, but I think
No, just
I
a
think
simple.
a simple boy.
Yeah.
I feel like he was just so disconnected from everything that he just not able
That's
to
another thing
realize.
too. I wonder if he had this moment where he was
Yeah,
like,
has this been happening the whole
this
time?
is
have
another
I
big-
always been here?
What?
In this studio full of thousands of people? Were they always outside the walls?
Yeah.
That's another thing too, is you
Exactly.
wouldn't expect anybody to be freaking out and cheering
Exactly.
for him because
Yeah.
he doesn't know that anybody's seen this.
Yeah, he doesn't know that anybody has known what he's been going through or paying attention to him at all. And now he's seeing all these people. And yeah, they did laugh, but they were excited and happy for him.
Yeah, that and like realizing, going back and thinking over your last year and a bit of what the stupid shit you did do, right? Like, sure, they're all happy for him, but that doesn't mean I wanted you to see me take a dump. Like, I don't really give a fuck if you're happy about this. Like, I couldn't wipe my ass for 10 months, you know? Like, I'd be pissed. Like, I don't care. But that's what the next part of the show is. Like, I'm not going to show any more of it because it's just drags on a little bit. But like, they just tell Nasubi, like, you're a big star, man. You're one of the biggest stars in Japan. And he just tries to get a grip of that. They tell him about how his journal had already been published and it's a bestseller. So they took his journal and made it a bestseller. So you're about to get a bunch of money from that, royalties from that. All right. You know, when you ate that ramen, remember when you ate that ramen after winning the first contest? That became a huge soup commercial in Japan. So you're going to get a bunch of money for that now too. The website for the live stream brought in a ton of money, which he was owed. So they told him, like, you're going to get actually a bunch of money out of this, and your face is known universally across Japan at this point. So yeah, look at all this. Then he slowly starts to realize he doesn't even really realize he's been on live. He gets that things have happened, but he didn't understand the whole thing's been live till but almost you can see it right at the end of the thing. I'm not really going to go into it because he just gets like, I've been live. He says it. And then that's the end of it. Like, that's, yes, you have been. He's like, oh my God. And he kind of gets a little bit of a sadness realization. But he says, like, his last thing he says basically is like, I'm so shocked I can't express what I feel. Because I think he still had to like sort through the emotion of the whole thing that day. Like I said, 17 million viewers each Sunday when the episodes aired. By the end of the show, Nasubi had entered 75,000 contests. And he'd barely spoken to anyone in 15 months. That works out to 50 or 1,250 contests per week on average, 200 entries per day.
Wow.
And Susunu Denpa Sho-nen, or Sweepstakes Life or whatever, had 3 more seasons, like I said. It ended up being canceled in 2002 as a government crackdown on shows involving its explicit nature or torture themed shows. For the first 6 months of being back in the normal world, Nasubi complained about being too sweaty in clothes. And for a long time after that, he had a hard time having conversations with real people.
Isn't he like completely rich though?
To a point, yeah.
So why does he need to wear clothes?
That's true. You could be that guy. I just don't wear clothes.
So hang on. How rich are we talking?
Not like yes, rich, but like, remember he got exposure out of that? Like, he just got the commercial and the exposure like helped him, and he did, like, we'll talk about what he did. He's not super rich. He's like average actor rich. He got a shit ton of money then, but really nothing since. So he's been living off of like.
Exactly. Does he have to work?
I would say he has jobs. He does have jobs, but they're not like, it's not like he goes and clocks in at 9 to 5. He has like very specific jobs. You'll see.
Oh, wow. So he does have to wear clothes.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So he's done a.
Will this job require clothes? Because that won't work for me.
Yeah, he's
really limiting his job market opportunities, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it would be the best thing in the world if he became an eggplant driver.
You're gonna find
eggplant farmer.
Yes.
And he would say, this this eggplant exactly the same size that they covered my dick with on episode number 72. That I was in Korea getting fucked by an octopus.
Yeah, he's taken his ordeal and turned it into kind of a career. Like, he's done a bit of television and theater. He voiced in a few Japanese video game characters. But he's just kept his like being famous alive. Like, he climbed Mount Everest in 2016 after 2 failed attempts 2 years before, and in 2020 he became a Japanese spokesperson for self-isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. So like, Nasubi's like, you know what, I'm gonna go cash in on this fucking pandemic like everybody else.
Absolutely. You know what his tip number 1 was?
No clothes. Naked. Yep.
Yeah.
Last I saw, this is his job. He is the ambassador of the Fukushima Tourism Exchange of Fukushima Prefecture. He's the ambassador of Mountain Day, which is a national holiday in Japan. He's a special instructor of Ura Bandai School of Furano Shinjuku and ambassador of the Mr. Adatera Tourism. So he's like a tourism guy. He just brings in people. So yeah, that's Nasubi. I like, obviously the question in this is like, should they have done this? Like the ethical question in this is like, should this have even happened?
No.
I don't know. He wasn't locked in.
Oh.
He's the idiot for not opening the door when he got mad.
Yeah.
So they ask him.
You go, Celeste.
I'll give you this, and we'll talk about it. So they asked Nasubi after the show was over, why did he just leave? And Nasubi says there were two reasons. First off, he was naked, so he didn't want to go out in public. Very Japanese of him. Like, I'm not going to show my junk off. Very, very humble or whatever. Doesn't want to show off.
I feel like that's not Japanese people. I feel like most people don't want to go outside when they're naked, but weird stereotyping that you just
it's like
did. Okay.
the extra honor of the whole thing. You get seen naked outside here.
Yeah.
It'd be a ha joke. In Japan, you'd probably get fired and your family's fucking banned for 10 weeks, 10 years.
Yeah. I get your perspective.
Yeah, no, I'd get fired from my job too if I wandered around naked.
But if you would have explained it, like, I've been stuck in this room, I thought I was going to win a bunch of money, but all they would give me is fucking dog food. I had to leave. Like, you might, like, there, you'd probably be like, your whole family be shunned. Anyway, so that's his thinking. I don't think that would happen. I think he would have left and everyone would have been like, you lost the show. You did that for nothing. But he could have left a bunch of times. He still would have been famous because people are still watching it, right? But he didn't know that.
Yeah.
The other reason.
Yeah, but like he left everything. He left everything to do this. Everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's not very smart.
So he's really got nowhere to go. This was like heavy manipulation. He didn't have a lot of choices at this point.
No, for sure. I agree. The second reason that he said he didn't want to go was more important to him too. He said was honor. And it's the fact that he said he was going to do it. So he did it. He admits, he also admits that his life is a lot easier now than it was before he went in there. Like, he has a lot more opportunity than he would have had before. So he does consider it a good thing that happened to him to a point. So yeah, he's got quite a bit of money. He's like living off of it now ish. Like, he still does all this ambassadorship, but I don't think that's like a full-time job, you know? So yeah, should this have happened? I don't know. I say yes, because he didn't leave, but like, no, I agree. It's fucking sad as shit. I'm telling you, I watched this shit and I was like, these sound effects are getting a little old. Like, I kept thinking that in my head, like the wah-wahs and everything are like, dude, this guy's like crying. Let's leave him alone.
I think so go on.
You go, Sumit.
Oh, I was just saying, with Japanese standard, I feel like it's okay for that kind of show to come in that time and do that kind of thing. But I think poverty would be one of the things too. He needs the money. He was an actor, I guess. He did it, and then he had million yens to be come up, man. That's good amount. So I think maybe that's what the motivation was. I don't know.
I think so. He could leave at any point. So the fact of the matter is, he wasn't being held at gunpoint. He wasn't being told that his family was going to get murdered or whatnot if he left. I think the bits that I would question is the fact that he wasn't being told he was live streamed. So I think if he was, he needed to be told he was live streamed, and then they lied to him in another time. What did they lied to him about
being
something
over?
else. But I think
changing the rules.
Exactly.
over, yeah.
Now you
Changing the
need money
rules all
for a
the time.
flight.
oh no, I don't know about changing the rules. I think that's fine, right? I think that's fine. But there was something else that I remember you saying, Richard, that they lied to about. So I think if he was told that he was being live streamed and there was another, and that other lie didn't occur, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure that this is actually unethical. I'm not sure that this shouldn't have happened. I think he had the opportunity to leave, and yes, honor was very important to him, but like, there's still the choice. No one held him against his will. There was still consent every day when he didn't walk out of the door.
It's true though, but
if he was super,
I was just gonna say, it's like telling a cult member they have to leave the cult. Like, you don't understand. There's other ways. You know what I mean? It's just the way you're brought up or the way you are. There's like, yes, you understand that it's there, but you think of the ramifications within their culture. Where for our culture, it's like, sure, I'll be shamed by my grandma for a couple of years. She'll come around. There, it's like, I can't even come home anymore or something. You know what I mean? Like, honor's a big thing.
But everything that you've said post the thing makes me agree with Celeste that he's probably a little bit more simple, not so entrepreneurial or like critical thinking or like taking grab hold of opportunities, because realistically, with the level of fame that he got and even the big influx of capital into him, even though it wasn't like live for the rest of your life without money, without working sort of situation, he still had enough that he would have been able to propel himself to the upper echelon of Japan if he'd been smart post this situation. But it really feels like he didn't take that option, right? So I think he's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, and not saying he's handicapped, just saying I don't think he thought like entrepreneurially, I guess. So I feel like maybe if it was a different person, I don't know. I don't have a problem with this personally because he had the option to leave.
Yeah, I if they would have been above board, I think I'd agree with you now that I think about it, but they didn't tell him all this stuff. Go live streaming and shit, that's real. That's important. That's a big one. It's very important to the...
No, I agree. It's if they had told him live streaming, I would have, if they had told him, because realistically, if you think about it, knowing what culture he comes from, seeing him in his journey that you've taken us through now, if they'd told him he was live streaming and honor was this most important thing, he may have taken his option to leave.
Yeah.
But he didn't know. So I think the whole actual problem with this is that they lied to him about a couple of things, changing the rules, whatever. If he knew what he was in for, he knew that they could change the rules. He knew that they could do things like put poppers in his eyes at midnight. But like, he still chose to stay. If he'd known about the live streaming and still chosen to stay, I think the whole thing would have been really above board.
But yeah, that would have been a different complete. This episode wouldn't have like probably happened had it that been the case, right?
Yeah,
because probably wouldn't have been as popular. A lot of, even if he did stay, it would have been different because he would have been acting differently. So like,
well, that's the thing. Like, were people watching because he didn't know he was being live streamed, or were they watching just because he was interesting to watch?
100% because he didn't know. In my opinion, because like it changed, like when he win prizes, he would jump for joy and do shit you wouldn't do. Like, I'm just saying, like, he would just be weird.
I disagree. So I disagree in terms of he still would have been going through the same thing. Like, regardless of whether I was being like, thinking about myself, right? If I'm starving, I don't care if there's cameras on me. If I want a fucking bag of rice, I'd be jumping for joy. Like, I disagree slightly only because of the extremes he was pushed to. He still would be.
But you
joyful.
think he'd be talking to the action figure, calling him a sensei? He'd be like, people are gonna think I'm crazy. You think he'd be walking around the room with a bike, like, I'm driving my bike in the city, and then just making like weird shit? I don't think he'd be doing all that stuff. I don't think he would have played the video game for 4 days straight before he realized.
Well, I mean, if we think about it, right, he's so isolated, and there's only so much that your brain can tolerate, like being that isolated, for example, right? Like, there would be times where he would be either forgetting, or like his brain would be prioritizing his survival over being filmed. So he still would have gone into survival mode regardless of whether he knew the cameras were filming him or not.
He wasn't in survival mode the whole time, though. That's what I'm saying. In the first couple of weeks.
No, that's the whole time.
It kept being popular, though, Bo. So it's not like survival mode was there. It was just like, I'm by myself. I want to win this game. I can't leave. Like, I taking advantage. I think Celeste had it the best. Taking advantage of someone who's like desperate to succeed. Like, and also think about your dad who didn't want you to do it, right, to begin with. And then like, this is a big fuck you to my dad. I can like be really good at this. My dad's gonna see, you know.
Well, that's the other part of it, right? Like, he, like you guys were saying, he was desperate to succeed, right? He wanted to be successful. He wanted to have the exposure. If he knew he was being filmed, he would have had a different mindset, and he potentially, I don't know him personally, but he potentially, wanting that fame and success, could have put on a better show.
I don't think he was capable of putting on a better show. We saw how
we're talking about someone who seems a little bit simple. And I'm not saying dumb. I'm just saying, you know, country bumpkin sort of simple things in life is what he comes across as, especially post this situation, not chasing that money that he could have invested. He could have put his face
I feel like
honestly,
he did pretty well for himself after. Honestly, he's not gonna He tried to keep acting, and he wasn't that guy. He really wasn't. I think he got the best deal he probably could have ever gotten in his life. I agree with you. I don't think he would have ever. They just took him because he's probably a dum-dum. You're probably right. Like, I think you guys are 100% correct on that. Like, this guy's dumb enough to stay, and they just took him.
Well, then, and also the outcome versus like the reward versus the risk, right? He did 15 months. So we're assuming that he does a couple of jobs. He's got his royalties, all of that sort of stuff. He's still super famous. So he's not struggling, right? He's at worst, he's upper middle class at worst, right? So he's the rest. So 15 months of his life versus the next 30 being very comfortable, very popular, being able to make a difference. Like, he was the ambassador for people during COVID. Who knows how many people he kept sane. Like, is 15 months worth 30 years of prosperity, setting his family up? I would do it.
I don't know. It's hard for me because, like, you don't know. If you cannot make that decision, then yes. But you didn't have to make that decision. You just thought you were going to maybe be on a TV show if you succeeded. Then maybe it would be successful.
And this could have gone nowhere.
Could have went nowhere, and he still spent 15 months there, and all he got was a couple bags of rice and then quit because he sucked. That's like, he could have thought that, like, maybe no one's gonna even like this, you know?
I have no issues with the premise. I just think that there were lines that were crossed that shouldn't have been crossed, that shouldn't have been allowed to be crossed by producers, basically by people using their money to make people who want or need for something humiliate themselves in order to get what it is that they want.
Without knowing that people are watching. That's the problem I have with it. Like,
that's among the problems I have with it. But I mean, even fucking McKamey puts it on the thing that you might be live streamed. You know, is McKamey better than these producers? Probably. But the problem for me is just that, like, giving him no food, that's a problem for me, because this could have gone very differently for his health. Would they have been held any kind of accountable if he ended up in the hospital, or if he had a heart condition that nobody knew about and him starving himself killed him? You know, you said a later season somebody did die. So did they? Was there any consequence?
Nobody died. What I'm saying is, if they would have kept going, they could have died, like, easily. They just would have not fed them and kept the power off.
And I mean, even in Survivor, you're sent in with a bag of rice and some beans. So there's like a baseline that's lifted far above where they put him in, right? If you're talking like, if you have any sort of comparisons to this day and age in Survivor, right, putting them in a situation where they have to survive, the minimum that they have is a thing of water, rice, and some beans.
Well, and they came there knowing that they are there to survive. Yeah. He came there not knowing what he was even like auditioning for, and then they're like, okay, now you're entirely responsible for providing for yourself with these sweepstakes, which could work out, could potentially not work out.
But the problem is, he could have left. Like, every day that he stayed there was a choice.
Agreed. I do agree. But my problem is that this is prostitution. Okay. So it's people who are desperate and need for something are using, are taken advantage of by people who have money or have whatever it is that they want. In this case, he really wants to succeed in his craft. He's going to keep doing what these people want him to do because they've promised him at the end of the day what it is that he wants, or at least a step towards what he wants.
Well, then if we're going down that path, it comes down to the value of what he's willing to give up, right? Like, if you're talking about prostitution as a mirror,
parallel,
thank you. Putting people in a desperate situation, there is, and I can say this, having been homeless, having been hungry, that is a line that personally for me I wouldn't cross, because that's where my value for it is higher. But if, for example, their value is that they can get their value to reward, they are willing to do it. His value laid so much in what he wanted that he was willing to still choose that every day. So I think going down to the comparison of what is most valuable to them, you can probably put money on a bet that he would make similar decisions in similar situations regardless of what it was, because of where the value lay.
I have issues with reality TV as a whole, personally. Not that, I mean, I have no control over it and it's going to happen. I just think that exploiting people in that way is, I don't think it's cool, personally. I think that people should they shouldn't want so badly for things, money especially. They shouldn't want so badly for things that they're willing to do things like that. I think that's just a societal issue as a whole. But as far as this, my issue is that they didn't give him what he needed to survive. That was the biggest issue for me, is that they didn't give him any food, and they would have been happy to give him no food if the crew hadn't stepped in. Yeah, and even when he started getting food, they were like, sure, eat the dog food that doesn't have any FDA standards. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, eat the grainy fucking rice. Yum. Have fun with that.
Or nobody's ever lived on a diet of this fiber sludge or whatever the fuck it is that he's drinking. Let's just make him have, nothing but that for 3 weeks and see how it goes. That's the kind of shit that's just, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. It shouldn't be allowed to happen. Yeah. If they were giving him basic means of survival,
now,
who the fuck cares?
There are, I'll just tack this to the end of this. There are conspiracies about this show that.
Wait, Richard, just before you, Sumit, do you have any opinion?
Well, I completely agree with both of you. I also feel that there should be some kind of cultural pressure to, I don't know, maybe, because Japanese culture is really very hierarchy based. So I think they also used it in a way to kind of show how young people, they don't know the experience, they don't know the wisdom, they don't know how to deal with this. And the older people were the producers and things like, and that factor was there too. But again, I don't want to be controversial. I feel like you're right, Celeste. They should have been given at least survival, right? At least survival. At least, I don't even know what's the point of taking the clothes out. Like, why? What's the
too? That's another thing that I agree with. There was no point in him being naked right from the get-go.
It was the birth of the eggplant emoji, so I feel like that's important to all of us now.
Sure, I mean cultural. He's fucking Michelangelo, but
so here's a question right before Richard takes that next step. So the question: if we were to take that and put it in today, the things that we would like. You would basically go to someone, you change the premise, right? Instead of being a trick, you go, can this person survive? Like you go so I'm sitting in front of Sumit and I'm like, do you want to go into a room and see if you can live for a year or whatever? See for how long you can live off of Sweepstakes. And clothes left on, obviously. We're going to limit everything that we do to intervene because we want it to be organic as possible. We'll give you basic survival. So we'll give you some rice and beans, for example. No racial we'll give you some curry, but you're going to go in there and try and win as much as you possibly can. You can leave any point in time, but we want to see what happens. And do you agree? Would that cover all in today to do it?
Yeah, I think so. That's the biggest thing for me is he's put in the position and then asked if he wants to do it, where he has to think about it when he's already in there, in the thick of it, doing it. That's not how anybody.
They got him in a joyous moment
and
too.
then once he started,
right? They caught him in a joyous moment too, right? When he picked his name,
exactly.
He's like, "Yay!" And he'll probably say yes to anything at that point until he.
Yeah, and then once he started, he's like, "Well, I'm already naked on the camera, so I guess." I am already naked on the camera, so
as most things in our life, it comes down to knowing consent about what is happening. And then if you say yes to that, everything that happens after that is fair game. You get naked and start dancing around the apartment. You agreed to this. You knew what you were stepping into. We're going to live stream that. You know it.
Yeah. Again, I completely agree, except that even if he agrees to do it with no food, that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, you should stash some. You should stash some like in a floorboard or something, so he can at least find it if he's hungry enough. It'll be there.
Yeah, or have some puzzles.
There's a hint.
The first puzzle before you get the sweepstakes is to go in and find the food, and then once you find the food, we'll give you the magazines and the other stuff. And then obviously, if he takes too long to find it, he's taking weeks or whatever. Like, don't make the puzzles too hard, but like he has to find the puzzles to get the food, to then get the magazines, to then do the sweepstakes. Like. Yeah, so it comes down to minimum of survival, and informed consent would make this experiment incredible to watch from a human
I disagree though.
behavior point of view.
I
for
disagree
me.
though. I think it changes. I think the reason it has that weird thing to it is the fact that it's unobserved human being recorded, unknowing observation of a man. Because as soon as people,
Well, no, he knew he was being recorded. He just didn't know
Yeah.
it would all
could
be
put-
live streamed.
He
he could also
unedited.
cover all the cameras whenever he wanted to and do whatever the fuck he, like all the ones he had, he knew about because he didn't know there was fucking cameras everywhere. He had the 2 cameras in his that were just recording. There were other.
Oh, I
well,
didn't
yeah,
know that.
He had just the 2 cameras that were recording that he had to change the tapes
With
for.
the tapes, yeah.
And then there was other cameras in the fucking house too that he just didn't know they existed.
I didn't think about that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So I think that changes. Honestly, that like human behavior changes while being observed. It's just like that's a thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Well, then did we learn anything? Like if we're looking at the human behavior side of things, like and that's where ethics comes into it. I get it. But then this whole thing is unethical because if we're talking about being able to observe, my God, human behavior, there's nothing that we learned.
yeah, it's you could see what they're trying to get at though. Like if you look at the later seasons, like especially last season where you only get a portion of your face gets shown every week as your baseball team wins. So like
So you don't even
you
get
don't even
exposure.
get your exposure anymore. So like now they're trying to see how far someone will go without fucking exposure, like on the pure luck of a baseball game. Like I can see what they're trying to do, but like, and the guy wanted to see. He even says it. The producer guy says like, I wanted to see like what how a human would like what kind of thing they would rise to in a situation like that, like how someone would rise to the occasion. But like I think that's all horseshit. Like I just think like it was
Yeah,
you just
I
getting
agree.
ratings and you just kept like upping the ante. You weren't thinking ahead.
No, yeah, I completely agree. You wouldn't change the rules, and also you would have, like, if that was the case, you would have a bunch of people who are far more knowledgeable about human behavior and human, like, situation than a producer of a TV show. Like, it was all about ratings, and that's horseshit. He wasn't there to see how human behavior came.
Agreed. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's like a flash in the pan. You can never do it again. I don't think you could ever recreate that with like rules because it wouldn't be the same. I think it would be a lot.
Right. It's only, are they going to like face penalties for this once it's already done? And by then it's like, whatever. And it's a cultural thing too. Like for me, like, would this have ever happened here is a huge, I don't think it ever would have. Just like,
No.
this is the country that brought you seppuku. You know, they don't quit. They're not quitters.
So let me tell you a couple other things. So they had a show that was kind of like a spin-off of our Susunu Electric Sweepstakes.
Live play, yeah.
But it was more
Yeah.
like a Jackass kind of show where they would get contestants to go do something ridiculous in like just a scene, right? It wouldn't be like a full season of it. It would be like 5-second clips or 20-second clips or 2-minute clips or something, right? And
Yeah.
one of them, and this is like this is what I'm saying. Maybe it would be kind of here because it's just like Jackass. It's not the same as Jackass, but it is Jackass, where it's just clips of people doing dumb shit. But it would be just random people. So they got the one. It's the Aussies. This is an Aussie one. They sent one of the guys to Australia, and I only heard about this from my buddy Mark that I talked about earlier because he said I knew about this. They got this. He told me this. I'm like, what? That's not what I'm talking about at all. I had to go look it up after, so I didn't get too deep into this. But we can either cut this out or just like. But because I don't know how accurate I'm going to be for remembering this, but they had like the clip show. So they took these guys, these Japanese dudes, sent them in an Australian bar, like a gay bar. And they were like, go give out condoms and say you're here to stop AIDS. And this is like 2001. So like apparently, and I should pull it up on fucking wiki. So just so I can read it to you real quick. But apparently the guy started getting assaulted. Like the Japanese dude get assaulted by one of the big dudes in Australia, and they got him on camera like getting like sexually assaulted, and the guy screaming and no one helping him. Like people on the cameras not helping or anything. This is why I think like does that sound real? Not really. You know, it sounds like it's made up, like a made up skit that they like. I'm gonna go be like give out condoms, and some gay guy's gonna beat me up for saying AIDS around him. Like I don't think that's real.
So was he assaulted or sexually
assaulted? That's what they're saying. Getting
Or both.
raped on the fucking camera is basically what they're saying. Got raped. They put down the camera and you could just hear him getting fucked in the back, and no one helped them. They just ran away.
Like hate,
So-
like hate raped, like I'll teach you
Yes,
about AIDS, or
yes.
like Oh my
Yes.
god, that's
It doesn't sound real.
That's
It doesn't sound
intense.
real. That's the thing. It sounds super fake. And that's
that also sounds it's like sorry, like it's specifically designed to demonize homosexuals.
exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like it sounds like it's like a early like 2000s. I don't know how Japan was with fucking, but like I know everyone, all my friends were calling each other
It's
fags
still-
and stuff like that. Like it wasn't a thing now, like it is now. It's not the same as it is now.
No, even so, if you like, I watched now Elliot Page was Ellen Page when she did a gaycation series on SBS, and they went to Japan, and it's still quite underground there. Like trans, even though their underground is quite above ground for the rest of the world, so like all their hentai and all of that sort of stuff, all the rest of the world knows about it. It's still over there culturally inappropriate. So she was and I'm trying to be respectful. Elliot was Ellen back there, so I'm going to refer to her as she because she was in there with a friend of hers. But she went through, and the only way that they could find gay places is in the underground in Japan. So, and that was in 2015, maybe?
Exactly.
2012?
So like that feels like it's a haha funny joke. Gay guy raped you. Like that's what you get for going into a gay bar, and like it's stupid. You know what I mean? It's like a dumb premise for a joke. It feels like a joke. So that's why there are conspiracy theories about this show in total, where it was all set up. It was all Nasubi knew exactly what was going to happen. He went in there. Whenever he put in all the sweepstakes, they would just deliver stuff in the nick of time, whatever he needed. That's why it was very convenient. He got like a VCR, he got a PlayStation a couple months after getting all this stuff.
Well, why would they extend it then?
Because the ratings were so high. So was he that good of an actor? Is he actually stupid? Or is he that good of an actor that he pulled this whole thing off? There's a bunch of people that say it's set up. It's not me who's saying it. I think it's real. But there are a lot of conspiracy theorists out there saying this whole thing was set up. He would have never died. He knew exactly what was going on the whole time. They extended it on purpose.
But he did physically lose a bunch of weight. You
He
saw
did,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Yes, but then again, so do actors. Like if you saw Christian Bale do the Machinist, he lost.
For sure.
He went down to 30-something, 40-something kilos. So
yeah, in a safe way, not like live on TV on like an expedited
over 2 weeks, like.
Yeah, but if it was set up, that
and he
that
ate
is
dog
food. I agree.
No, yeah, I
Or
don't
was
think
it
it was.
dog
I
food?
agree with you, Richard.
Did anybody else taste that dog food? Was it a bag of dog food with chips in it? You know, like was it really dog food? Like I understand what you're saying. I agree that it's real, but I understand why conspiracy theorists would say that this shit was all made up and it was a good show because of that. And if
some of it was faked, 100%. Some of it was faked. I'm pretty sure, like the noodle guy showing up, 100%.
But that's set up to fucking piss off.
I don't think he. Yes, I don't think he was in on anything. But yes, I think a bunch of it was
for
faked.
sure. It's like Truman Show in that regard. Like they would send people just to add drama to the show. Like he hasn't had food yet. Let's fucking send food to his door. Haha. Like, did he get a live squid, or did somebody be like, let's just give him a live squid? We're at the end of this. Let's jump the shark on this. Let's jump the squid on this bitch. You know, let's send him something ridiculous. Like some stuff.
And the whole time he was on this bitch the entire time.
Yeah, so if like let's pretend that's true, I think it's one of the greatest performances of all time, and he should fucking probably go down as one of the best actors in Japanese history. But I don't think that's true. I think he's like that. You seeing him finally figure out that he was on a live television the whole time was sad. And like, could someone act that well? Maybe. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
You know my fascination with like people's mentality and all of that sort of stuff. Like for me, this whole story is absolutely fascinating, and that like watching him, like there was I don't know if you're able to fake the level of shock, because you can see his eyes change when he turns around and looks at the TV and then looks back at the camera. Like he's come back, his cognitive faculties are coming back to him. We've got some synapses firing at that point. Like he was in such shock. You could see it in his eyes until he turns around and sees the camera. I don't know if that's physically possible for someone.
That's the end of the episode that I have, but I mean, that's where I sit. I don't know.
That's a good one. This is fantastic, Richard.
Thank you. I saw that.
And you know what? You look great today.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I brushed my mustache and everything for you guys.
Oh, did you manscape?
Yeah.
I like the beanie, black beanie look.
Thank
you. Look
Thank
thug
you.
life.
Exactly what I was going for. Bumpa clot. Was that racist? Brap. Was that racist? Do I get on the racist counter for doing like Jamaican racism and shit? This isn't even about Jamaica. No. Fuck.
You can't be racist against Jamaica.
Damn it.
I think I might get a ticket.
Lot of mercy.
We did really well, considering. I think we did really well. We only got 11.
Oh,
So
that's not
awesome.
bad.
Oh, we gotta up it
I'm
up.
disappointed.
no,
Yeah.
good for us. We got like
Hey.
24 when we were doing
Submit.
Anatoly. So
Yeah, we gotta do
Submit.
more.
Send me butter chicken.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. My pizza is here, so I'm gonna eat some pizza. I have a big meeting tomorrow too, so I gotta prep for that.
All right, love you.
Have
love
a
you
good day.
guys. Submit.
Enjoy.
I'm so glad you finally came back. You have to come back
Yeah.
more often.
Same.
I will anytime, any day, any moment. 100%.
That's what you said before, and then you never came back.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Unethical Podcast. If you're not in the Facebook group, stop being such a silly goose and come find us at Unethical, the official Unethical podcast group. If you find you just can't handle the anticipation until the next episode, then it's a great time to join our Patreon, where we have a ton of extra unethical content, and of course, our brother podcast, Private Dicks. And in case you didn't hear the good news, Private Dicks is now Public Dicks. Every 2 weeks, an episode of Season 1 will drop wherever you eat your podcasts, and our lucky Patreon patrons are literally living in the future, listening to new episodes from Season 2. On the fence about it? Have a listen to the trailer and see what you think. If you've got a case, big or small, give the Private Dicks a call. And yes, the phone number is real. Enjoy!
Have you got a mystery that needs solving?
Where is Amelia Earhart?
We know.
Who the hell was DB Cooper?
Ah, easy.
Bermuda Triangle?
Probably solve that one next.
Here at Private Dicks, we guarantee a mystery solved every episode.
That's with a capital G.
Every second Friday, the Private Dicks take a client, record their session, and solve the world's greatest mysteries.
One by one.
Private Dicks solve them, no problem. God, I love just crushing mysteries. Search up Private Dicks on your favorite podcatcher, and you can solve a mystery too.
The mystery of what's your favorite podcast?
It's Private Dicks. Another one solved.
If you have a mystery to be solved, call 1-855-PRVT-DIX. That's 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS.
Call 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS and leave us the rundown of the case. Maybe the Dicks will solve it.
855 Private Dicks. Because I'm straight when it comes to humans, but fucking gay from old people.